as is per day.
I'm having a hard time logging into Roll20 right now, but we can go ahead and start, and I'll keep working on it.
That's fine. I mean, as you've known, I'm not particularly the most map-savvy person, DM, so I don't have a whole lot really drawn out other than my very artistically drawn doc.
But unfortunately, that's the only place that I have my character sheet at the moment, so...
Oh, right, that would be a thing, too.
Yeah, that is also a thing.
How dare you not use Aurora?
Well, I'm on my my computer is out of commission right now, so I'm having to use Lawrence's, and for some reason his computer is just being slow as fuck. And so
better turn off those crypto miners and the cloud seeding for torrents.
What did you do to your baby?
Oh, my baby is fine. It's just we haven't gotten everything completely set up yet from where we just moved, so it's just still got cables. Yeah, it's just still got cables and boxes and stuff.
So you guys ended up? Did you guys close on a house?
No. All we
okay.
No. All we did just now was move to another unit in our apartment complex.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we just moved from the 3rd floor to the 1st floor, which is wonderful because I was so sick. I love this dog. I was so tired of having to walk up and down 3 flights of stairs every time she had to pee.
That's a good workout.
I'm kidding.
Oh yeah, my legs are fucking great now. But
I was gonna say maybe we need to take the. I'm gonna shut up before I ruin things further.
What? Okay, so
Ooh.
I would recollect what happened last time, but that might border on a bit more of an explicit novel.
Our stream is going to get flagged.
Mature audiences only. D&D. Anyway, but kind of as a general gist, for those that, you guys arrived in Dunmoric, albeit in a very supernatural way, and are being currently held, detained, however you want to call it, over in my brain faltering right now. The Hardest Rock Inn.
Names. I forgot.
And as well as Alton and Mort kind of wandered off to the Rockin' Inn, to get info on their part of the mission from Whisper and that whole deal.
I grabbed Morton. We're walking back towards the docks to try and find some clerics.
Yeah. He's not happy. He was trying to catch some Z's, but he tries to kind of fight back, but he's half asleep, half still hungover, and half just, he doesn't really care. He's half asleep as you're pushing him along the streets.
A little light slapping will fix that right up.
Mort. Eventually he'll fight back. He's secretly a scion of the void.
BBG, yeah. He's Marius. He's Marius Lapoil.
But so we had some unfinished things to catch up on from last time that we didn't get to. So we'll go ahead and catch up on those now, including between Absinthos and Andros, with some of the stuff that was going to happen before you all retired for the night. Yep, because I know Andros, you were waiting for a particular dwarf to show up. And Absinthos was going to try to talk to his sugar mama. Talk to his deity.
Nice.
So I don't know which one you want to do first. Any preferences? Because they're both pretty much, I imagine, happening around nighttime when you guys would all be retiring, unless Andros or Absinthos, you're doing it earlier if you're wandering away, trying to find a spot to commune with your god.
The plan was, as soon as I shut the door on Evian's situation, gonna get to the next door, or the other one, put a cabinet or something to block the door, and then start communing.
Oh, patron, please let me forget.
Yeah, we can start with
okay.
Modify memory,
I
please.
offer up this memory as a sacrifice. No, God, no. Why would you get no?
I'm demonic, but even that.
Anything but that.
Okay, so after thus, you retire to the other room that is currently, once it's unoccupied, you push one of the pieces of furniture in the room over to block the door off to kind of have a quiet space to yourself. The room is dead silent. There are, fairly thick stone walls that separate the rooms. So it is quiet and it is dark.
It was quiet and it's dark.
All but the sound of loud, no, I'm just kidding, moaning from the room across the hall.
Yeah. I'm sure I could silence in my own mind, can I? Anyways, yeah, I'll just pull out the good old hex-bladed pole arm and start the communing process.
Okay. As you start trying to reach out towards your patron as you've done before, trying to commune through the pact you forge, your mind starts to kind of open up, and as even though your eyes are closed, the space around you seems to drift away, and all around you is slowly replaced by just encroaching darkness. And slowly, flames creep along, almost lazily along this darkness, forming patterns along the floor around you, before converging and coalescing into a ball of small fire. Even with your eyes closed in your communal, you feel the heat radiating from it. No words are spoken, but you just feel the presence of your deity bearing down upon you in this space.
But we meet again.
It is silent.
I have a dull rage that needs to be tempered into a sharp spear. And I believe it could be tempered in regards to this crown fragment. Or better yet, it might better start off with, do you know why Denmark is in isolation?
There is silence. You hear this warped, garbled speech. It seems to be a voice trying to speak a long distance. Fierce and angry, but a long ways away. A pact long broken. A pact that you may share.
I see two people can play the cryptic game. So they made this pact and broke it, and this is the price of the breaking.
Learn well from it. A host of two powers, a host of two pacts honors none.
So you're quite aware.
I was the one who built the bridge. I was the one who opened the gate. I am the one keeping hold of you on this side. You are mine. Don't you forget that.
Well, that has never been forgotten.
You feel the heat from this thing magnify for a brief moment.
So, any more specifics on this pact that the dwarves have broken? Was it a pact with the emotional one or the emotionless one that they chose to break first?
You are mine. Learn from it yourself, or fall to the same of the pact breakers. And as she says this, the flame extinguishes, leaving a cold, empty, dark room around you.
Maps and Thoughts is just gonna lean back, lay on the floor, and contemplate, thinking, that was a waste of my time. He may eventually, move the cabinet back, but he's just gonna stick in the room, just musing about what was said.
Okay. D-Days don't always give specifics. They are, well, not even a deity, it's a patron. But, alright.
If I was a paladin, Oathbreaker sounds pretty good right now.
I mean, you are basically, two-timing your patron in a sense, so...
What's that Always Sunny thing? I'm always playing each off, other side's always coming out on top.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you're doing. You're walking a fine line between two powers here.
Satan 1, Satan 2.
Yeah, something like that.
Terrible decision. What's Andros doing?
Andros. So you're just waiting at the bar. Is anyone else sticking around, or is everyone else kind of... Because it's going to be some time before this dwarf shows up. So I don't know if anyone else is sticking around the bar, or if people are retiring. And if Andros is going to try to persuade people to leave, or if he's going to just chill the bar and not say anything about this meeting he's planning.
Oh, Andros is 100%, him and Barnacle are 100% egging both Thamor and Marani and whoever else is in the bar to continue drinking, while he surreptitiously nurses one drink.
Okay. Marani, Thamor, and who else is in there? Evan would be upstairs, so just be Marani, Thamor, oh, Zurich, you're in there.
Yeah.
My brain is frying right now. Are you all going to go with him or go with his urgings to drink? Or are you all... I mean, I guess Marani and Thamor's already on that path.
Yeah, Marani doesn't need any more encouragement. She's still
into her cups.
Oh yeah.
Well into the flagrant winks.
The flagrant winks, yes.
And it's the specialty. It's the specialty of Tales of Mir, don't you know? Anyway.
Solely provided by the Thunderhand clan.
Oh no, Thunderhand provides a different service.
Why not both?
Because the other one's provided by the elves. Come on. But anyway, what are you doing then, Zidane? Before we hop into...
He's gonna hang out with Shinari.
Okay, so you're staying in the main lobby for the night.
Staying in the main lobby for the night.
Okay. And then Thamor?
Drink.
I would say I'm surprised, but... However, are you drinking through the helmet, or do you actually take your helmet off to drink?
Through the...
He's like...
They just have
he's
a
like
straw.
Tally. It's an emergency induction port.
He just carries around a straw for every situation. Okay. So as time passes, Morani, Thamor, roll me another Constitution saving throw to see if you are awake and conscious.
This will be great.
Or even remotely passable on either of this.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Thamor,
from a nat 20 to a nat 1.
Thamor,
Wow.
you are awake, but you are really just, you're barely hanging on to consciousness right now. Like everything around you is swimming and blurry. You're kind of weaving in and out of passing out. You're not too aware of the world around you right now. Morani, you are flat on your ass drunk and you've passed out. Like you've fallen back off the bar stool, and you're just laying there, stupid grin on your face, drunk as all hell. You've earned some of the respect of the dwarves to a degree, and a little bit of the disdain of the bartender who now has to clean up after your mess.
Barnacle is wringing his hands out over your forehead, just putting a little bit of water on your face.
She is so drunk. She's just out. She is gone. In fact, I mean, the drunkenness even extends a bit to your astral companion, who is kind of waddling around, still in bird form, kind of just staring at random things and pecking at crumbs on the floor. He's gone full bird, full native, as it were, in a drunken stupor, sharing a little bit of your inebriation.
Andros lifts her arm in the air and then watches it fall limp, turns to Thamor, and Barnacle speaks for him. Well, Thamor,
Leave it this way.
look like you win this round.
Thamor not. He was gonna talk, but he can't talk yet.
You okay? Yeah, can you breathe? You can take the helmet off.
He's gonna try reaching for another drink.
The bartender is going to hand you water. Though in your current state, your character may not even realize it. It may not even get the drink to his mouth / intake port.
Oh,
Take
as he's pulling the drink over, Barnacle waves his watery hand over it and prestidigitates it to make it taste like the ale he's been drinking.
Secret intervention.
Nice.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you're out. Zidane is just kind of playing with Sonari, kind of enjoying. It's not exactly a lively tavern, but it's quiet, so it's kind of a peaceful bit of respite. And as you are all sitting at the bar, you hear a commotion outside. The sound of a lot of dwarves kind of yelling, just kind of making a bit of a commotion before the door basically flies open, and a very eccentric-looking dwarf comes parading in with a few dwarves tailing behind him, equally as eccentric. And when I say eccentric, he's, standard size for a dwarf, adorned in leathers of varying colors and shapes, with feathers and other decorations and beads decorating them. His beard, unlike most dwarves, kept long and kept groomed, is cut short, braided into tiny little pigtails of sorts at the ends. And he just has this wild expression on his face.
As this happens, Andros snaps his fingers and at the same time tosses or just quickly dumps the drink out, and Barnacle, if he can, I'd like him to coalesce just into the tankard that he's holding.
Okay, yeah.
So he's got Barnacle in a cup now.
I swear, if you feed him to a character and try to do an Ant-Man thing, we're gonna have to talk about the mechanics of Water Barnacle. Anyway,
the only mechanic I ask is, can he be just like a mouth, like no face, just a mouth in the tankard?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I just meant you can't have him be imbibed by another character and then have him act from within. We're gonna have to figure out
all on my radar. Nope. I just wanted to make him a little bit less.
Conspicuous.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the word I was looking for.
Sure. So yeah, this dwarf comes in, his entourage falling behind him. You see the guards behind, just kind of giving him a bit of a, shaking their hands at him, and you hear him kind of cursing him a bit in Dwarvish. And this fellow doesn't seem to care. Saunters up the bar, takes a seat right on next to you. The bartender's already prepped a drink and slid it his way. You get the idea that this is a pretty common, routine thing for him. As he's laughing and just, anyone here speak Dwarvish? I know Alton does. I don't think anyone else in the immediate.
I do not.
Oh.
Okay. All right, so then all you hear is, him speaking Dwarvish amongst his patriots, who, for the time being, they kind of after escorting him to the bar, they kind of spread out and start taking different seats around the tavern, taking drinks themselves, or some of them just kind of falling asleep, or even just picking a spot and falling asleep.
Sure. Yeah, Andros will turn to the bartender and from his tankard. Well, barkeep, is it time for that brandy?
Oh, yes.
Beach braid, yes.
Kind of with a startled look, the other dwarf turns, wide-eyed, staring you up and down, and gets a wide smile, and goes, "I? And, who do I have the pleasure of speaking with that knows my name?"
Wait, is his name Brandy?
No, Beach Braid.
Oh.
Karjut Beach Braid.
Andros kind of just looks down, purposely kind of keeping his face a little bit turned away so he doesn't notice that he's not actually using his mouth.
An old comrade of Captain Trinicus.
You hear the lad, boys? It's a name I haven't heard in, barkeep. How many cups has it? Don't matter. It's been a while, lad. And he just slaps you almost full force on your back, kind of sending you forward, almost hit head down into the counter. And just he's laughing his ass off at this point at a joke you don't recall ever telling, but he's just laughing about it. Those many moons ago, showed me many great things of the sea. They tell you dwarves don't like water. Bah. That's only the filthy dwarves down in the tunnels. This dwarf, I was like your captain once. And he kind of gives a very half-hearted, bow while sitting. And where are my manners? Name's Karjut Beachbeard at your service, and, well, who the hell are you?
Well, my name's Barnacle, and I bring... Well, I
You mean the things we scraped off our arses out at sea?
Very same.
I like ye, lad. So tell me, what is one of Tunigis's, what were you? Deck swabber? Cannoneer?
Navigator.
I don't recall. What does it matter? It's probably a different one from then. So what brings a navigator of old friend Tunigus here?
Well, first off, I need to tell you that Trinicus is... Well, he's gone to be with the waves, along with the rest of the Moonchaser. I was the only survivor.
Yeah. For the first time in seeing this dwarf, you do see his expression go crestfallen, rather abruptly. And he kind of turns back to his cup. Oh. So.
But if I know my captain, he wouldn't want us to be, well, sour-faced and staring into our own drinks. So I have a crew with me and a new ship who are looking for answers. We're a little bit, you can tell by this, where we are, we're a little detained.
Crew and ship. You're here in Dunmorrick with your crew. You're not the captain anymore, lad. Nobody leaves Dunmorrick with a ship.
That's the feeling I'm getting. So, my question is, do you have a private room where we can sample your brandy and wag some tongues for a while?
You talking to the keep or are you talking to Karjet?
Karjet.
He gives you kind of a cold stare. Lad, the last thing I have in this darned forsaken city is privacy. And he looks over his shoulder at the guards who have been just eyeing him from the window. And as he notices them, they kind of like turn to attention, but they keep looking over their shoulder. You see, I'm not. How do I put this, lad? I'm more like you than you realize. I love the sea. I don't like the stone and the mountains like dwarves should. As we all are supposed to like the stones and the rocks and the clickety-clackety, bah! He slams his tankard down.
There's nothing like the open sky above you, yes?
Aye. And he looks up at the stone ceiling above him. Nothing quite like it, aye.
So, tell me, and kind of lowers his voice. How long have the White Order been here?
He, kind of cracks up a bit, laughing. What are you on about, lad? I'm not here. Nobody's here. Aye, there's stuff outside of Dunmorrick. There's nothing in here. Nothing left. Can't even...
Sorry, go on.
I thought you were interrupting him.
No, sorry.
There's nothing here anymore. If you're saying White Order has something to do with what's going on here, then I say, bah. King's probably got some other crazy scheme. Not that it does a rat's ass anyway.
Speaking of the king, let's say we arrived here by unconventional means, yes? Teleportation.
That's a fancy one now.
Yes. I was still working out the details, but kindly Mr. Silverhorse escorted us here to well, what I can only imagine is our jail cells for the time. And well, let's just say we're not here to be detained. We've got some timely business to attend to, and well, it sure ain't here in the port city.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, lad, but your business is well, probably going to be on shore leave for the foreseeable future. This ain't a city that most people leave, lad. At least, not alive or like the others.
Have you ever gone for a dive in the harbor? I'm sure you have, being like me.
I only the 1 or 10 times the wonderful authorities have tossed me out there.
Is there a way into the city through the water?
Not that you'd survive.
Say I could.
Mm-hmm. Some old tunnels, maybe. They don't watch the waters as much, but maybe. But they've closed most of them down. I haven't been down them in centuries. Brought down the tunnels. Their only hope is somebody figures out a miracle and solves this city's problems. And he takes a long drink and chuckles to himself regarding that. 2.
Problems. Well, my crew and I were a little bit in the problem-solving business, as it were. Perhaps we can help.
You're gonna regret saying that, lad.
I've regretted a lot of things I've said before. None of them have really killed me yet.
He eyes you. I thought you saying that he kind of like squints his eye and stares at you, and then he starts bursting out laughing, like full on belly laugh, drink spilling even. And when he kind of finally calms himself down a bit, just looks at you. All right, if I needed any more proof that you were one of Teneki's, that was it. Darn.
He was a loony one, wasn't he?
Looney.
Well,
He was a friend.
he was. But
He kind of-
wild to see.
He kind of, you see him start kind of fidgeting with something under his, like, tunic a little bit. And then he straightens up a bit, looks about the bar a bit. And as he kind of looks about, the rest of his kind of onlookers are kind of watching him. And he just sits there and nonchalantly goes, "You know what, lads?" And he staggers a little bit. "I think I've had a wee bit much to drink. Why don't we, really get this party going?" And you see him pick up his bar tool stair and just chuck it out the window.
Yes.
And the rest of his fucking crew goes wild.
I have a feeling that I'm next to the window with my
Oh no!
Fine Wolf. So
He's not going to aim it at you, so unless you're standing directly in the one window he's aiming,
no,
which he's not going to aim it at any person in the tavern. He's aiming it straight out the window at the guards outside.
it's my dog and she gets pumped out.
Yeah. So as he
United
shouts this,
Roll dice.
this is going to be kind of a weird interaction because I'm not going to force you guys to roll for initiative unless you make any aggressive actions. But his followers are basically going to start fighting the guards.
Oh, someone please restoration me so I can be a part of this.
So as he throws that bar stool, the guards immediately are, you hear them curse, start coming in, and his compatriots are going out the door and starting to brawl. They start kind of brawling other doors, but you notice that the doors they're brawling are used almost like this is choreographed. This is something they've done a lot. They're just fighting, but they're not hurting each other, except for the ones fighting the guards. They're the ones actually, fighting the guards, but trying to, the guards aren't trying to kill them. They're trying to subdue them. But it turns into a bit of a ruckus. And in this commotion, he grabs you by the scruff, like the back of your thing, and pulls you down. "Listen here, lad. You need to find the king, then. If you truly think you can save this and do what your friend had promised you years ago, save this damned city and get me out of here. I want to see the sea again. There is a darkness here. A darkness that turns everyone to stone. King knows this. He keeps it from everyone else. He thinks that we can solve it by our own means. If you're meaning the White Order is a part of this now, means he's finally lost touch, or he thinks that someone else will save it. I'm putting my faith in you, lad.
Upon the honor of his scales, I'll do as Tournicus said he would. Moonchaser will come to your aid once more.
That's the name of the ship. You see him kind of brighten up, and he takes one final, just downs a full goblet of mead, goes to grab Thamor's and just yanks it out of his hands and goes to down that too.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Thamor goes to grab it back.
He gives you a bit of a sour look before just kind of chucking it back into you, like almost flipping it into your hands, and then he just kind of roars before running towards the door.
As he goes, Andros makes his mage hand, and it zooms off behind him, and it's just like poking guards' eyes and just being obnoxious.
Okay. Thamor or Zidane, are you doing anything this brawl? Because right now, you're not really involved, but there is a bit of a commotion happening right at the entrance of this bar. Like, his companions are basically just getting into scuffles with the other members as well as the guards. He himself is going to throw himself at the guards. But you'll notice he's not pulling any weapons. None of the other dwarves are pulling weapons on each other. And Marani, I'd ask you, but you are currently dreaming of... I mean, you're not even dreaming, you're just kind of... I don't even know.
Seeing the melee happen, I imagine, Zidane's gonna look over his party members. It's like, okay, someone's picking a fight with a drink over next to Thamor. That's gonna end well for them. Barnacle is on the floor,
and
doing
Andros
something.
he's actually like peeking up from behind the bar with a very sheepish and guilty look on his face.
So Zidane is just gonna lock eyes with you and then squint for a moment, and then he sees Morani. And Morani, how are you splayed out right now? You just like...
I'm just kind of like, on my back, arms and legs just, spread out. I'm just flayed on the floor.
Let's gracefully weave my way through the fighting and the breaking of things. If there's fighting inside the tavern, I think I might have missed that detail.
There is a little bit. There is some fighting inside the tavern, but again, you'll notice for the most part, it almost seems like the stuff happening inside the tavern with other patrons. Not saying choreographed, but it seems like it's almost routine, and they're used to just almost brawling for sport, compared to right outside the tavern where they're brawling with the guards. They're making a commotion.
Okay. So let's tap a finger to Marani's head, and then also grab a cloth and try and wipe away some of the spittle or whatever dribbling off the side of her face, I imagine.
as you incant this spell and touch her forehead, the green heat light kind of emanates from your fingers, coursing along her body. And Morani takes a deep breath before turning to the side and just vomiting out a very copious amount of alcohol.
Wow.
God, I really turned into the messy drunk.
Yes, and you groggily come back to your senses.
Oh no.
Andros vaults the bar and just slaps a hand on her face and prestidigitates at least some of it off of her.
Does that have a verbal?
I have my tankard of barnacle that's using the verbal.
Okay.
Tankard of barnacle.
He's got a tankard, and it's not really clear, but he's making sure he doesn't drop his drink.
We need like Hala to sit in on this, listen to these things, and just commission her for these random visuals. Like I would love to see a
I know,
tanker of
right?
barnacle.
I would pay money for this.
It's just a watery, shit-eating grin of Barnacle's reflection in a tank.
Yeah. Did Thamor go upstairs, or is he kind of just?
I'm still here.
All right.
He's wrestling the drink.
No, I got my drink back.
It spilled all over you.
Oh, it's okay. Thamor's jumping into the fight.
Oh!
Are you fighting the patrons? Are you fighting the guards? Are you fighting the guy that spilled the drink?
I'm pretty sure I'm drunk enough that I don't know who I'm fighting.
Okay.
Can
He
I
is a
grab
god.
him by the shoulder as he tries to run by? I don't know if I need to make a contested check here, but
It depends, because I mean, in terms of everything you've already done, he would have been doing that while you were doing the mage hand shenaniganry and dealing with Morani.
sure. Okay.
So it kind of depends on which action you want to happen. So Thamor's joining the brawl.
I'll turn to Zan. Go get him. Fuck. We gotta get the other two and get the fuck out of here. They're giving us an opening. We've got to take it. They told us to get to the king.
Right. Oh boy.
Still 2 people on the second floor.
Yeah. So he
You go get the others.
Yeah. He gives Morani one more friendly, but
Oh.
get up slap.
Is
he
Andros
just
going to hurt
takes
himself
off.
again with it?
No. He would if he tried.
Heals
But,
-1.
no, but it's just a gentle, like, it's a friendly slap. Just like, get the fuck up, and then he takes off up the stairs.
Okay. So, Thamor, you are joining the brawl. We will get to damage received and dealt, because you're just going to fight random ass dwarves. Most of them, I will say there's a fair amount that kind of just stay out of your way, because they kind of realize you're one of the, non-locals. But upon seeing your size and like general ferocity, a few of them just kind of want to fight you.
Oh no.
So you get into a bit of a sparring match, and we'll go ahead and roll for some of that stuff in a bit here. Because they kind of want to test their strength against you. I mean, they've been bored this long, and having an actual combatant is kind of an interesting thing for them. As for Evian, this is about the point you pretty much had, the Thunder Hand has finally left.
Evian is currently away from keyboard.
Oh, okay. Get back to her then. Absinthos, as you're done with your communing, you're sitting silent, brooding, listening to My Chemical Romance or whatever it is you're doing in there now.
He's composing bad poetry.
No writing yet. Can we have My Chemical Romance?
I farted, and it smelled like
It's My
fart.
Alchemical Romance.
Headbang.
Oh, yeah, okay. Can that be canon?
Sure. There is a local elven / like half-elf band that is My Alchemical Romance.
Oh my god.
And we'll figure out their songs later. But anyway, popular amongst the angsty nobles of Galaran. But you hear this commotion like going on, like the sound of things being thrown, things shattering, grunts and fighting and shouts of dwarves going on outside. Fairly loud considering that you're in, again, a very, heavily stone room. And you hear, I guess, Absinthos, are you going to, or Andros, whose room are you going to first?
Is Thunderhand at the top of the stairs, or did
Yes.
he already go down?
He's at the top of the stairs. He kind of peeked around the corner at the brawl going on, and he's now shuffled and walked away. And he's kind of whistling to himself as he walks down the hall.
Aye, God, there's a fight going on downstairs.
Not me problem, lad. And you just see him take up the stairs to another level.
Right, all right.
Just takes off and looks at the door. He knows Evian is in. It's closed. Looks at the other door and goes to Evian's door first. Actually, no, she's away from keyboard, right?
No, she's back.
I'm back.
Okay. He goes to the door and just raps really quite forcefully.
He
Evian,
immediately opens the door and like catches your fist before you slam it into her face.
aye. You feeling better?
You feeling better?
We've got to go. Where's the other one?
What do you mean we got to go? What's going on?
I've made a friend. My friend's a little crazy. He's given us an opening. We need to go find the king. I don't know how we're going to do that, but let's go.
She just like, her eye slightly raises, and then she's like, "I fucked a dwarf for nothing."
Well, we can go back to him later if this all goes bad.
Right. Well, Absinthe should be across the hall, I think. I don't know. He retired after our conversation, but sure. I'll just grab my stuff, I guess. And she just goes back into the room, quickly shuffles her rest of her armor back on, getting her equipment, throwing under her back, and securing the bear trap.
Just turns and starts rapping on Absinthe's door.
Applesauce, we gotta go.
What's the problem now?
There's a fight, and we need to go.
Does it involve murder?
No. Come on. Open the fucking door.
It's unlocked.
I love your accent where applesauce, we gotta go!
There's still a
Really
cabinet
funny.
in front of it.
No, that's been moved. The door's basically been unlocked the entire time.
So he throws it open.
Just see him lay on the floor. Starting to get up.
Oh, come on. I get that you're sad that your girlfriend fucked a dwarf. Let's go.
It's coming. Yeah. This better be exciting.
It's
Yep,
more
no,
exciting than what you're doing.
No contest there. As he's starting to walk out the door with you, like, all right, where we're going.
Yeah, Bevian has her equipment. We're all ready and prepped and everything, and she just makes eye contact with both of them, but then kind of looks away.
Also looks away from Evian.
God, you children, let's go.
Just takes off down the stairs.
Isn't she like 300 years old?
Hey, I'm not 300 years old.
I think you said something like 70?
She's in her 70s, yes.
It's older than my mom.
She's a half elf. Technically, they're 30s.
Okay, so you get. So you all reconvene. I'll be honest, wasn't expecting a flight situation in this, but sure. Yeah, so you all reconvene and head down. Marani, you've basically kind of come to. You're still a bit groggy. Thamor, go ahead and roll me an athletics check. Because you're basically you're kind of drunk fighting with these dwarves, and they're going to just compete with you by, grappling.
Ah, good point. Okay. If I can find athletics, that is.
Oh, jeez Louise.
Bam.
He is strong boy.
Even in your drunken state, these dwarves are kind of eyeing you. The ones that kind of want to fight you start kind of size themselves up and lunge at you, and you just pick the dwarf up and just chuck him out the window along with the stool. You're generally just besting these dwarves right now in contest. All right. Okay, so Andros, Evian, and Absinthos get down the stairs. What are you all doing? The brawl is kind of escalated at this point. You see they've all moved out into the street for the most part. Starting to kind of draw more of a crowd. You do hear the distant sound of more guards arriving, like the clanking of their armor and shouts coming from.
I'll do a telepathic speech to Andros and ask, so is there a plan aside from get caught by the guards?
Well, I'm hoping this will be enough of a distraction that we can get through the tunnel and find a way to something.
Well, could you be a little less cryptic on the end goal?
Literally, I already told you we're trying to find the fucking king.
All right. Fair enough.
Let's go.
All right. Ronnie was not silenced by number, correct?
No.
Not by spell, no, but by alcohol, maybe.
Well, I'll have to fix that. All right. Show the way.
It starts moving forward. Ronnie, are you up to your feet by now?
Zidane. Oh shit! I have to help wrangle Thamor. Where'd Thamor go? Well, he'd help out Marani first.
Yeah, Thamor is in the thick of like the middle of the tavern, kind of just wrestling random dwarves.
The dwarf goes flying here, dwarf goes flying there.
Basically, as you show more of your prowess, a lot of them are just going to kind of back away from you and try to edge themselves away from you.
Marani, are you on your feet? Marani, are you muted?
Oh no.
Yes, I was muted.
Oh.
No, I was muted. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm on my feet. I'm kind of stumble up and just kind of like lean on Zidane for a minute while I get my balance, and then just kind of take a minute to just kind of sturdy myself on my feet before just looking to you and kind of giving a forceful little nod, and then realizing too late that my head is killing me, and then just kind of stumble back for a second, grab my head, and then just wave it off. But yeah, I'm good. Let's do whatever it is we're doing.
Just a big old shit-eating grin. He's like, "You got that disappearing spell you used before?"
No, the shadow thing. Yeah.
And then he's gonna turn and slap Thamor on the ass and enlarge him. Cast enlarge on him.
Oh, it's everyone slapping my ass in these games.
Oh no!
Yep. So now Thamor is massive.
Oh God, no! Why?
Thamor, you have to hunch over now a bit, as the size of this place was built primarily for dwarves with very little thought to those of a tall race. But hunched over, you are now bearing over twice the size of these dwarves, who now are already slightly reluctant to fight you after seeing you throw one out the window, are now just full on fleeing from you.
Thamor, I'm sorry, you're a distraction. Let's go.
Okay, I suppose we should drag our tokens out so we can actually see where everyone is.
Yeah,
And at this point, Marani is just staring at Andros, completely dumbfounded. Like, am I still hallucinating?
So yeah,
no, you're not.
You guys are in that kind of that bottom left mess of a thing I drew. I don't remember why I even drew that like that.
Looks like a toilet.
You're not.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're not entirely wrong. Let me go ahead and just draw like an actual cube. A little bit more. Yeah, so that's kind of where you guys are, is that general location. The tunnel system was towards the east where Alton was, with there being a lot of kind of like, think of it almost like my envisioning of it was like steps, like you're on the lower rung. And there's that building, several buildings along it. There's steps and like different paths and ladders leading up to different like levels, basically.
Yeah.
And along the eastern edge of it is where you see a massive set of like. There's one massive tunnel, a couple smaller tunnels you can kind of make out that seem to lead away from this area. But we will get back to you guys in a second, because we're not over to Alton, because this will basically be happening. We're going to go back in time a little bit because this Alton thing will happen before this happens. Alton and Mort, you guys had left the Rockin' Inn, heading back towards where your boat was to see if you couldn't deal with the cleric. As you're passing along the street with Mort kind of half drunk, like on your shoulder, a lot of the guards kind of just eye you as you pass by, but don't seem to give you a second glance.
Where did he get half drunk?
Huh? Or sorry,
Where
half
did
hungover.
Mort get? Oh, okay.
Half hungover. He was still kind of suffering from that before you threw him in the water.
Copy.
His constitution is not particularly very high. But as you kind of meander along the street back to the boat, you do see that the boat has been pulled into the docks. So instead of it being listing out in the middle of the water now,
shackled to the.
Yeah, it's shackled to the
docks.
Docks. Just
Requires a 5 red mechanics check in order to remove this particular lock.
Where's Vodvab when you need him?
Yeah, you just need a VODVAB.
Where'd you have to write?
but
I
cannot seem to interact with them the way I want to.
think I trust VODVAB a little bit more than Jethor.
I do too.
There we go. Haha. I've done it. So it's gotten more to the dock. You see several like lines having like harpoons basically fired into it and have dragged it and tied it to the docks. You see 2 guards stationed on the port itself, kind of idly just standing there, trying to ward off people from getting near. And on the dock, on the boat itself, at least at first glance, you see 2 figures dressed in armor and like a mix of armor and robes, walking about the ship, and you see kind of light shimmering from their hands as they go about, kind of waving their hands over different parts of the ship.
These are dwarves.
Yes, they are all dwarves.
Copy. Yeah. I'm gonna take my piece of paper and write on it as soon as I can find out how much gold I have on me. Okay. I'm gonna write in big, shaky letters. Went mute. Need help. Have gold.
Okay.
And start stumbling towards the boat.
As you approach the dock, the guards are going to lower their weapons towards you. They're each holding like a halberd. Walk towards you, weapons kind of pointing. Halt! No one's allowed near the dock.
So
You on your
Elton
way.
will put his hands together in a prayer, way with the piece of paper, and then hold out the piece of paper and start frantically pointing towards the dwarves on the ship. And please, need help.
One of the dwarves kind of gives you a very suspicious look, and the other slowly walks up towards it and snags the paper and looks down to it and looks up at you, kind of whispers to the other dwarf, and you see him.
He'll kneel to try. He'll try to get on their eye level.
Yeah, he just kind of gives you an odd look as you do so, but he looks at the paper again and looks at you, and then kind of looks over your shoulder and looks around, and you see him hold out his, like, kind of turns to the side and holds out his hand and just coughs, like.
What's Mort doing?
Mort's just looking at the dwarf, looks at you, looks at the dwarf, and kind of grumbles and rolls his eyes and pulls out a small pouch and tosses it to the dwarf. And the dwarf kind of holds it, shakes it a little bit, and just coughs a little bit more.
How much can I tell how much it was in that pouch?
It didn't look like a lot.
Like 10 gold?
You wouldn't know exactly, but you could tell the pouch was light. Like maybe a couple pieces of gold.
Oh, okay. So I'll fish out 20 gold.
Okay.
And hand it to the guy.
Okay. He takes it, kind of jingles it again, gives you a bit of a smirk, and steps aside and waves you along. No funny business here.
Nod. Agreeable.
Okay. And as you're walking by, you hear him toss a few of the coins to his compatriot.
Do I get my piece of paper back?
Yeah, he hands it back to you as you walk by. He hands you the piece of paper back, but he keeps the gold, of course. Okay, so you head towards the boat.
Yeah.
Okay. It says you kind of. They have a rudimentary.
Trick.
What's it called? I have no idea what that. Okay, but they have a port, like the little, the bridge thing, the gangplank.
Gangplank.
They have a gangplank lowered, that the dwarves had used to go up. And as you ascend it, you see these 2 dwarves very, very focused on their task, and they just seem to be walking about different parts of the ship, hand outstretched, glowing. You hear them chanting. Even though you understand Dwarvish, you can only really make out to be like a Dwarvish spell.
Okay. I'll try to get in one of their way, like sufficiently far away where I'm not like barreling into them, but like I want to stand in where I think they're gonna walk.
Okay.
And then just let one of them encounter me.
Okay. So yeah, one of them will, as you're standing, kind of these waving his hand about, and actually it's a she. She's gonna be waving her hand about, and then stops suddenly, like hand kind of outstretched towards you, and you see her like her eyes go wide. She jumps back. Hey, I didn't see you there.
And then I will kneel down as like I did before, and make the prayer symbol and hold out the sign.
She looks at you kind of suspiciously for a second, looks over to her other cleric brethren who's still absorbed in scanning the ship. Takes the paper from you. Well, aren't you in trouble then? She kind of looks you up and down, looks Mort up and down a bit.
Oh, Lord.
All right. I really pass one in need, I suppose. Hold on. And you hear her start like chanting, hand outstretched towards you, and her hand glows a soft white light. And she presses it to your forehead, like fingers outstretched, like touching both you and Mort as she chants. And you feel your voices return.
Hey.
Okay. Technically, I'm not supposed to do that, really. I don't know who you are or where you're from, but I adhere to my calling, and I will continue to abide by that. And she looks cautiously over at the guards who are not really paying her any attention, and no one noticed. So,
thank you so much, my lady.
I keep your voice down. Don't.
Okay. He starts
let
whispering.
Anyone know I did that.
Okay. I will be. My lips are sealed. May I know your name? My name is Alton, and this is Mort. Also, the music is not appropriate at all.
Yeah, I was gonna try to look for something. Here, I think I found something.
Give it. Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to try and persuade her to give me your name. See if I can make
go ahead
a friend.
and roll me like a persuasion then, because she seems very reluctant to be trusting.
Sure.
Right now.
There we go. Hey.
Okay. Sure. She looks worried at first, but kind of looks you over, and her hand still kind of outstretched. You see it glow a little bit again. She chants a bit. She kind of closes her eyes and then opens them again. You're not evil. Okay. The name's Edbera Drunken. At your service.
Oh, you're gonna have to spell that one. E D. Help me, Salty.
I put it in the chat.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Put it in the chat. All right. Sorry, I didn't say anything, but yeah, I put it in the chat. I know it's hard to spell.
Edbera. Well, that's a lovely name. I'm sorry to have taken you away from your task and Alton feigns not having been on this ship before and looks around and like cleansing this vessel. Is that what you're doing?
Roll me deception. Roll me a deception. She just kind of raises her eyebrow a bit and kind of quickly, but not aggressively, just grabs at your wrist, kind of the shirt on your wrist, and just come with me. We can talk down there. And she pulls you into the lower level of the ship.
Okay.
If you choose to follow, but she's not like
absolutely.
Yeah. So she kind of brings you along, and Mort's got his voice back, and he kind of goes to talk, and then realizes the situation he's in. He's just kind of Mort just now kind of looking around himself, kind of trying to wake himself up a bit. But she brings you down below decks of the ship. Goes, okay, I can stay down here for a little bit. They'll be assuming I'm checking more of the ship, so just keep your voice down. We should be okay. Now, in payment for what I've done, I want you to answer me some stuff, okay? I should have probably said that first, but I need you to answer some things for me.
Anything.
Nobody comes into these docks that I don't know about, so you must have come on this ship. This ship didn't get here normally. So, what's happening outside? Is the world still going?
Yes, how to answer this question? Can I trust you to keep the secret then? Keep my secrets?
On Morden's word.
Can I didn't even really want to say this because I feel like she's really sweet, but I'd like to insight check her.
Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, she seems to be honestly telling the truth. Like, she's...
Okay. So then Alton would respond, yes, the outside world is fine. I gather from the limited time that I have been here, some terrible curse. Am I wrong?
I don't know much. I'm not allowed inside the main areas, but that's why they have us search these ships and keep everything under lock, looking for some answer. And if I could find it, if I could just find it, maybe we could go outside again. They keep telling us that it's not worthwhile to go out there. The world is empty out there, and this curse is spread to the other lands, and we're safe here. I don't believe that. It's not what Morden has showed me. He hasn't really answered much anymore.
Morden?
Oh, God.
Of course. How stupid of me. No, you are quite smart, and your god does not betray you. I've never heard of this curse before. Tell me, what is happening here? What form does it take?
I don't know what causes it. That's what we are trying to figure out, and I'm hoping maybe you have an answer for me. Because if I could find out the cause, we could save so many dwarves. Tell me, do you know how to turn someone back from stone?
Not per se. Is that what's happening? Random dwarves are turning to stone?
She looks crestfallen at you, at the news, and she just kind of takes a seat on some of the crates down there. Centuries ago, my father told me that Dunmorg used to be wonderful. Used to be a marvelous place. For, as the king would say, outsiders caused issues, distrust, betrayed us, what have you. My father didn't believe that. He knew it was something else, but he could never say. But something happened, and one by one, we all fell victim. Slowly turning our city of stone into stone. And the king says it's spread beyond our walls. That here in the harbors and the other reaches of the refuges, we'd be safe from it. That he would protect us through Morden's grace. I believe in Morden's grace. Don't. She looks very cautiously around her. I don't know if I believe in the kings anymore.
This is a sad day. I had no idea when we were sent here that things were this dire.
Yes, you wouldn't. The king keeps everything under lock. No one out. No one in. No one must know. And the visitors we get at the trade are told that we are thriving, a prosperous city in fear of others stealing our secrets.
Elton tries to be as reassuring as possible, and he sits down next to her and says, I think that my mission here, arriving on this ship, is a great deal more complicated than I thought it was going to be. But if you can keep my secrets, I would very much like to help you as much as I can. And also, I think that this curse, it may have something to do with the item that I was sent to retrieve. There are fragments of an ancient dwarven crown. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
A symbol of our people, yes. The legends as they were are of an old dwarven king, famed and at a time when Dunmorag used to be. It's said that when he fell, or when the kingdom fell, he too went along with it. And the last of our knowledge, our peoples, fell with him, forever broken in the pieces of the crown. But they were lost. Well, one was lost, the other buried amongst the curse, and the other held by the king as a symbol of his rule.
I have one of these pieces now, and I was sent to retrieve another.
Her eyes just grow wide at that news.
Mm-hmm. My secret is dangerous, and if you were to tell anyone, I would likely be killed. But I want you to trust me that I have good intentions and that my mission was to retrieve more of these fragments for a benefactor of mine. But if retrieving those fragments and taking them away from Dunmorag would hurt the city and its people, or if reuniting them and I don't know, and he Alton's like shrugging a lot. He says, if they would help to reverse this curse, you must believe me that I would do that. And this seems horrible. This seems horrible. I just want to help.
She kind of looks about a bit worried and seeming at like a loss for words, like a lot of information, a lot of things going on.
I'd like to rescue her from that then and say, okay, I would be overwhelmed if I were you, and I can't lie. I'm also overwhelmed at the amount of destruction that you're saying's happened to the dwarves here. Let me ask you, can you meet me later? Can we meet somewhere that's not on this ship, that's a bit more away from prying eyes?
I might be able to get you into the temple, but I don't know how I'd get you. And as she's saying this, you hear a loud commotion as the sound of the door, like you hear shouting. You said you
I
do
don't know
understand
those
Dwarvish, right?
people. Just so you know, I don't know those people.
You know Dwarvish, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You hear shouting from outside the boat as you hear
sir.
guards running by and shouting to the ones on the port. Like, come along, Beachbeard's at it again. And you hear just grumbles and groans as you hear stomping off the docks. And even Adbera just rolls her eyes. Why does that drunken fool go at it?
So, okay, Alton says, do you know message? Do you know how to message? Send me a message before nightfall so that we may meet again.
Meet where? And why?
I trust your judgment, but I think I'd like your help in accomplishing my mission, if that's okay.
Okay, what are you gonna do now? The guards are all in a... they're gonna be in a frenzy trying to get Beachbeard again. They'll probably chuck him in the ocean. One of us is gonna have to drag him out.
That ought to cover my escape nicely.
Be warned. You can't stay here. They'll find you. And if you go into the tunnels, just... I shouldn't tell you this, but... She quickly pulls out a parchment and scribbles it down and hands it to you. And you notice this, it's just a marking of an eye and a hammer, like an eye with a hammer underneath it. Look for these markings. They'll guide you in the tunnels.
Thank you.
May Morden be with you. And if you do fix whatever's going on here, I hope I could meet you under the sun.
He runs kind of away to get the rest of his things from the ship before he jumped off, and before leaving her, he gives her a wink.
Okay. As you go to the top of the deck, Mort's now following. He's got the same mindset of he's trying to escape at this point. You notice that the guards posted on the dock are gone, running kind of off in the distance. You see them running towards the direction of the tavern.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
Can I have sized up one of those guards when I interacted with him before to create a disguise later on?
Roll me a roll me like a wisdom check or wisdom saving. Not saving there, but just a wisdom like D20 with your wisdom modifier.
Oof, this is gonna be rough.
See if you kind of...
Oh, I rolled well.
Okay.
Thank God.
Yeah. See, you managed to kind of quickly size him up and kind of remember enough of his features to store that like image in your mind for the ring.
And the parchment had an eye over a hammer?
Yes.
Okay.
And you still have it. It's just she... Okay.
Yeah,
so where are you heading then? Are you heading towards
Yeah, so I'll grab Morton, keep your head down, and we'll like walk as casually as possible away from the boat, but also over... Are we using the map now? I mean, like...
Kind of, yeah. We can kind of use it.
So he's trying to make his way over without appearing like he's trying to make his way over.
Okay. Yeah, you can kind of stick towards like some of the side streets of the upper level where the guards aren't. They're kind of mostly just beelining straight to the front of the tavern. As for the rest of you guys, there's kind of this brawl going on, as well as you see more approaching guards. How are you planning to avoid or not be associated in all this?
Andros turns to Marani. He's like, "Well, now's the time."
For the time for... Oh yeah, the shadow thing. Yeah. I got you, fam. Yeah.
You are terrible when you're drunk. Come on.
Who all's with us right now?
Everyone but Alton and Mort. So the rest of the party and Thamor, who I guess is struggling to get through the door. And as he appears through the door, the guards are all going to be taken a bit aback and are... I mean, you were definitely being noticed. And some of the guards are going to start kind of peeling off and having weapons start kind of leveling around the giant armored man.
Okay, so Thamor, Thamor's on his own. He's a giant. Everyone else, assuming that everyone is within 30 feet of me, I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay. So that increases.
Super stealthy.
Yep. I mean,
we all get a straight +10 bonus to stealth.
Okay.
As long as we stay 30 feet within 30 feet of Marani.
Okay.
Yes.
So kind of like an enveloping mist seems to pour from Marani's fingers. It smells slightly like booze. And kind of envelops this brawl going about. And the guards, I mean, they were still actively watching you guys, so they have sight of you, but their vision is a bit more obscured in this sense. Stealth isn't just I completely vanish from sight, but it does make it more difficult for them to kind of watch you, but they are mostly keeping their eye on Thamor right now.
Are there, like, other than the guards coming, is there a crowd milling? Are there gawkers?
There are some gawkers. There are also some late to the party people that are just joining in the fight for the sake of joining in the fight. As well as, of course, Beachbeard and his crew are still haphazardly throwing themselves at the guards.
Yeah. I'd look at the rest and just be like, right, we're leaving? Make it look like we're not part of this. And just starts walking, kind of like that, acting as if he is fearful or worried about what's coming from behind him and moving away from the tavern.
Okay. Your path going forward is going to be met with guards. But they're more just kind of corralling everyone at this point. But they don't necessarily, you're not stopping you specifically, but they are kind of stopping everyone, or trying to. But again, most of their attention right now is on Thamor.
Question.
Yes.
Actually, no. How far again was my shadow meld? What's this? I can do it again.
30 feet?
I think it was 30 feet if I recall.
You don't have that in the character sheet? Well, there's always the notes you can pull it from.
That's what I'm trying to pull up right now as well. It is 30 feet.
Okay. Good enough.
Yep. Teleport behind any enemy in range. Yep. So are you shadow stepping behind the doors?
How far away is the sort of line of guards?
They are definitely within 30 feet because there's guards kind of haphazardly within the brawl, and there's kind of a line of guards forming a wall around you, roughly 10, 15 feet intermittently, surrounding you. Not like a tight ring, but
behind that wall, is there anyone sort of watching the fight?
There's a couple of onlookers, as well as probably a few, a upper ranking dwarven captain that isn't really that's just kind of behind trying to bark orders. But it's not the one you recognize from before at the docks. Mr. Silver.
I'll have the others do the thing first, then I'll go after.
Okay. I mean, as far as Andros' plan, you're not really going to get past the wall. They're going to try and stop you. They're trying to keep everyone corralled until
distraction.
Yeah, Andros is going to come up and just panicked. I don't know where he came from. He's got some sort of eldritch magic. Help! Get us away from him!
Deception check?
Roll me, go ahead and roll me a deception or performance, I suppose.
I'll roll deception. Just normal?
Yep. Ooh.
Got it.
Okay. He rolled an 18.
I use... I have magical guidance, which allows me to re-roll if I spend a sorcery point on skill checks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I guidance this one?
You would have to drop Pass Without Trace in order to cast
Oh,
it.
that's right. It's concentration. Never mind. You're on your own. Sorry, I tried.
Yeah, I will try that again.
Thaymor is.
That's
Oh, never mind.
Hey, there you go. That's better.
You beat his roll. I didn't think you were actually, because he actually rolled an 18. So I actually didn't think you were going to beat him. Okay, yeah. Initially, he kind of just stares at you almost like this drunkard really saying what he's saying.
Yep.
And almost on cue as you're saying this, Thaymor, your image seems to almost to blur a little bit, kind of forming that shadowy, like crossing those shadowy bounds between you and the shadow plane. And the guard just stares at you, like wide-eyed, gawking, and stumbles back a little bit before kind of trying to yell for backup and falling back a bit, and you're able to kind of just slip on by him as he is now fully distracted, staring at Thaymor. As well as if you were all falling behind Andros, you would be able to slip past him as well with a Pass Without a Trace, because this guard is now completely focused on Thaymor.
Yeah, he just kind of like panics, kind of like moves past him and looks behind him, and as he gets past the line of the guards and the line of guards that's right there, he does the like 2 fingers, like, come on, to the rest of the party.
Yeah. What's the rest of the party doing?
Let's try to exit stealthily.
Yeah, let's follow.
Yeah, just roll me stealth checks then real quick.
Everyone remember to add 10.
Think that I need to also roll for my dog.
And Alton like scout to find a nice alley or something that they can all go to, and then wave them in or something as a help.
I should have added 10 and it didn't.
Did you remember to click out of the field?
Oh, no.
That's
How do you even add a 10?
So where it says bonus, the column that says bonus, and just
increase by 10.
Just increase it by 10.
Okay, so pretend mine's 14.
I don't pretend here. How dare you assume I pretend?
May I make a quick perception to see if Thunderhand is like coming down the stairs?
Sure.
Oh, God.
Babe, you're coming with me.
And how do I roll for?
Well.
Oh, that's
Evian, as you look back over your shoulders as you're peering away, you just faintly hear coming up the stairs, I'm coming, me new love. I'll save you. Followed by the banging of a door on the upper levels. And even though there's no noise, palpable disappointment.
Oh, for God's sake.
Is what? Okay, so he's pretty much upstairs.
He's upstairs. He had cowered upstairs when Andros had kind of confronted him when the bar fight started. As it kind of picked up, he decided to kind of work the courage to come try and save you or protect you from whatever was going on. And, well, yeah, found an empty room.
Okay. And then I'll just roll stealth then with my bonus of 10. 31.
Okay.
I'm sneaky as shit. What on me? I just vanish.
Backing out of both physical confrontation and, well, the prior confrontation, as it were.
I just transport all the way to the Fey realm. Appear by Alton. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, so you all managed to kind of sneak through the line of guards who are, except for Thaymor again, who are kind of now closing in. They've started kind of getting Beachbeard a little more controlled, though they're all anxiously kind of watching Thaymor to see what he's going to do.
Since I'm so tall, are there any walls I can see over?
I mean,
like
not
alleyways, something that has like a wall on the other side.
Kind of. I mean, going down the street, you see your friend, the rest of your party kind of inching their way past, and then I'm guessing you guys are bolting down the street, or are you guys kind of trying to hide immediately?
I would assume we're sticking to shadows, and if we can find the nearest alleyway to kind of get out of sight of the main thoroughfare there.
Okay, but you are trying to get away. You're not like...
Yeah, I was trying to cover for them to like try to find them that alley, and then like make it seem like there's
you
going on.
You definitely see them. Like they're not necessarily like... I mean, Alton, you're looking for them, so you see them retreating as well as you see the giant Thamor. He's hard to miss.
Essentially, I was trying to do a more successful version of when Indiana Jones is running away from the Nazis and raiders in the big truck, and they drive him into the tractor trailer. I was trying to do that.
I mean, you can assist and kind of like guide them down an alleyway, because no one's
totally narrative.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you can guide them. It's kind of that scene that's going on. You're just kind of guiding them. They're kind of going through the crowd, the onlookers that have kind of stayed a little bit further back. Thamor, I mean, there's different alleyways kind of in between the houses. There's not like any walls per se, but there are different alleyways and such. There's the crowd of onlookers. You see your party members kind of pushing forward, and there's that level above you as well that you can kind of make out that like a stairway going up to. What are you trying to do? I guess
well, I can't really hide as of this moment.
No, I don't know if you can drop the spell, or if Andros has to drop the spell, or if it has to run its duration.
It only lasts a minute.
Oh.
So at this point, I would assume that it probably drops.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty close to dropping. If not...
Thamor is going to look at the commander of the dwarfs, point at him, and run a finger across his neck.
Wow. Roll me that intimidation. Roll me the intimidation with advantage, because you are a giant hulking hulking armored human that threw dwarves out a window. You have
Can you roll
the
it as
literal advantage on your side.
Intimidation?
Oh,
no.
Pay more smash.
Let's see it, Noko.
Oh, it's charisma.
All right.
Could be worse.
Could be worse. Could be better. He looks at you and just kind of sneers, but you can tell he's definitely got fear in his eyes a bit as he kind of backs up and pushes more of his underlings in front of him.
Oh, as he's backing up, that Thamor teleports behind him.
Nothing personal, kid.
Spell wearing. I'm trying to think if I want a thematic on this. As you teleport behind, are you trying to flee from him once you teleport, or are you actually kind of making like a stand of it?
Flee once I teleport.
Okay, so we'll say that the spell drops as you teleport behind him. You kind of time it with as you feel the spell effects like waning. You teleport behind him. As the shadow just kind of envelops you, and you literally just vanish from sight and appear in his shadow behind him. Roll me a stealth check. And I guess would you be close? How long is your effect, Morani? 30 feet or 10 feet?
It is 30 feet.
Would you stay close enough for Thamor to be in its field, or were you kind of trying to get far enough away?
I was just following Andros, so
yeah,
I mean, I guess
I would say Andros basically got to the nearest alley, pulled everyone inside, like ushered everyone in, and then basically just posted up watching what happens to Thamor.
Okay, so you're probably not in range of the pass without trace.
No, probably not.
You can try to either stealth your way past, or you can... Okay. He's going to have disadvantage because you've now successfully scared the shit out of him on that. Okay. He's still rolled high. So he panics as you just literally descend into nothingness, and he's like flailing, kind of looking about him, turns, sees you right behind him, smaller, but right behind him, and he just lets out this very undwarvish squeak before stumbling backwards and falling and kind of pointing your way, and he tries to let out like a shout or a command, but just lets out more of just kind of muttering, and like fears kind of gripped his throat on this.
Using an action with my action sort of thing.
You can still do something. He's kind of your essential turn. He's not.
Can I
he's
see absence? No,
you can see. Yeah, you can see where they split.
Actively waving to you from the alleyway.
Are they within 30 feet?
Not yet. No.
Damn, he's gonna start running towards them.
And as he runs toward him, Andros points and drops a fog cloud. Just as he's running through it. So basically interspersing between our alleyway and the guards.
Okay. So yeah, the guard, as you start fleeing Thamor, the guard finally kind of works up the nerve after being intimidated by you, having you literally pull a anime style right behind you, kid. And finally just kind of barks out orders, "Get him!" And then everything is enveloped in more clouds. And you hear the guards kind of clamoring, kind of running into each other now in this mist. And for the time being, they have no idea what they're doing. They're clunking into each other. They're more focused on Beachbeard, who's still trying to create a commotion. We'll say that you guys are pretty much in the clear for the immediate moment, unless you decide to go back.
No.
I did not take off my bags. I had a feeling that we would. I had a feeling we would have to bug out.
As Thamor bursts from the other side of the fog cloud, Andros gives him a little wink and ducks into the alley. And then they're going to probably make their way over to where Alton is.
Okay.
I'm assuming Alton's like sending us messages.
Yeah, I think he was ahead of you guys, kind of waving you guys through the streets. At this point as well, you're starting to feel, as you guys are pressing through the streets, the fatigue is starting to kind of catch up with you. It's been a long day into night. So just to keep an eye, like just to forewarn you that it is pushing into the night and you guys are on the run. So just bear that in mind, that if you keep pushing on, you will be pushing on through the night.
No, let's go to the Rockin' Inn.
Yeah,
I wonder if the King's Guard will look for us there.
Well, we know that there are we know that there are sympathizers to Alton.
Yeah.
Well,
first of all, he needs to take you guys somewhere so he can, give you the lore dump.
We just start pointing at each other and dumping lore.
Well,
I know so much.
Speak.
Me too.
Okay. So as you guys, is that the plan? Is Alton's taking you guys to the Rockin' Inn?
Yeah. Once we meet up with Alton,
looks like it. Yeah.
Would suggest it.
Unless anybody else has another idea.
No, I think that's the safest thing right now.
Yep.
Okay. So as you guys are going through, like heading down the street, kind of weaving through a lot of the guards, there's no more guards really coming your way. They're all at the Hard as Rock Inn. You hear a bit of muttered curses as you go, and several splashes, and hear, of course, Beachbeard cursing from the water.
Sorry, friend. I'll make it up to you.
You get the feeling this has happened before with him. But okay. So Alton, you lead the way, weaving through the streets. Are you keeping an eye on Mort, or are you?
No, not any more than not. I'm not desiring a role to keep an eye on Mort.
Okay, I was just curious, like what your disposition is with because Mort right now, he's still following. He's not going to necessarily ditch you guys right here, but he is definitely kind of hanging back.
Yeah,
a bit
I know
more.
what he's thinking. How much of the conversation between myself and this is meta, by the way, sorry. Between myself and Edbara, did he listen into, or can I tell that he listened into?
He was there. He was present for the entirety of the conversation. How much he cared to listen in on or pick up on, you don't
Probably
know.
Ditched him before I said all that shit.
But
All right. I'm keeping a little closer eye on him then.
Okay.
But he's with us, right?
He's with you, but like I said, you can definitely tell that he's hanging back a bit more. He's not exactly the most deceptive of people, though he tries to be. He's definitely kind of looking around. Even with a low insight to him, you can definitely get the feeling that he's looking for a way to make a break for his own.
Mm-hmm.
But given the situation, you can tell he's not finding it at the moment.
Okay.
He's not.
I'm gonna make sure that he comes with us to the inn.
Okay.
And then good track. And then when everybody gets into the Rocket Inn, hopefully I can get everybody into the room that we got from the bartender. But I'll let you tell me
Ivy.
what he says. What, like, if the bartender looks at us with the raised eyebrow, or he motions to all of his guys to start fighting us.
No, he comes. You come back into the bar again. It's fairly empty. Only made like 1 or 2 patrons left at this point at the time of the night. You come bursting in, well, not bursting, but you come back in with this large party in tow. He looks at all of you. He just lets out this deep sigh, kind of rubs his temple.
Okay. So Alton turns around then to the rest of the party and says, just give me a second, would you? And he goes over towards I mean, I don't care whether you guys wander off or whatever. But he goes to the bartender directly, and he's like, Sorry, I couldn't talk before. Thank you. I'd like to thank you in my own voice. He says this in Dwarvish.
He gives you a bit more of a raised eyebrow, like, speaking in Dwarvish, and replies in kind and goes, "Hey, it's what we do, lad, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is the rest of the crew."
Yeah, I'm trying to keep him out of sight for a minute. Can we duck into the room here for a couple hours, maybe the night?
More than call me a psychic. And you see him just kind of reach back and elbow the panel on the wall, and
nice.
You see the latch drop down.
Okay.
All right, don't say I never did anything for you.
Hey, there's a lot in it for you if you keep that coming.
Favor I owe an old friend. And so he let you down into the cellar you were in before.
So Alton will go back to the group, and this appears to be some sort of I don't want to call it a safe house, but Whisper seems to have the connection here. So shouldn't be too many guards coming around. Should be relatively safe here for the night.
Right.
Sounds good. Looks like you got your voice back too.
Yeah, I also, I don't know how much of this we want to RP, because you guys listen to all of it, so I'm assuming we all get out of sight, right?
Well, if that's everyone's plan, if you guys all want to go down, and if you want to RP the lore dump, you can, depending on how much Alton wants to say. No, if he wants to give the whole story, we can skip through that if you want, if characters have questions or whatever.
No, I'd rather.
Yeah,
I know what's going on.
How much is
Hey, there's a curse. There's darkness. It's turning people to stone. Really? I found the same thing out. There's clerics. They want to help. They haven't seen the sun.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, he and Alton would definitely add this. Okay. Two things. One of them is he would say all this and never really say anything about what he told Edbera. Specifically, that he would much rather help the dwarves than help Whisper. So he doesn't say that at all. When we're all done lore dumping, Alton's going to make sure that he knows where Mort is, because he can take Mort aside.
Okay.
So.
All right. So we can skip the lore dump. Would any of the characters have any other questions, interactions between, I guess, after that has been said and done? Because I know there's probably going to be just questions regarding, I guess it just depends if you guys want to skip lore dump entirely in terms of if Alton gives what he learned and what, because currently the only people that had some lore dump basically happen were Alton and Andros. And kind of sort of Absinthoss, but I doubt he's going to say anything. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but
You could be wrong on that.
I could be wrong.
So Andros, did you learn, like, is a darkness, you said? Like, what?
Yeah, something along the lines of, there's a darkness in the depth of the city that is turning the dwarves to stone.
Wonder how that manifests, though. Is like only dwarves that go down there get turned to stone, or like just anybody?
I know your guy said something about like the city's desolate. He's like, there's no one in there. So
he did.
Yeah.
But but that doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it'd be real easy if they said, oh, every dwarf that goes to this king's court, has a 10% chance of, turning to stone in the next 3 days.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't understand that part.
Yeah. Andros's biggest thing is he'd just be like, look, I don't know what it is we're fighting. I don't know what it is we're trying to solve. But we've got sympathizers everywhere, and they want us to get to the king. But, I don't know if it's the real king or the previous king, but they want us to get to the king.
I'm not really sure who's on whose side either. I think that the king could potentially be a quote suspect in all of this, as maybe having made some sort of a infernal pact or a magical pact, and he's deriving some sort of benefit from it all. I kind of doubt it, though. I think it's more. It seems more like a curse caused by something else, and he's probably kind of desperate.
What your contact said, it seems like he's trying to hide it.
Yeah, I think that the people in political power tend to do that when they have no fucking clue what to do.
That's because he broke his word.
What?
How so?
What do you mean?
Everyone's doing some chatting. And
That's ominous.
oh, I'm sure you would love this. And I got a cryptic message, for lack of a better word, saying the whole shindig is caused by the king making some sort of pact with darkness. And, well, it could be one of two individuals. And then he broke the pact. And as a result of this pact being broken, the curse.
Okay. Where'd you hear that?
Magical Fred.
Which one?
Kind of an older one.
We still being cagey? And Alton gets an edge.
So that's the person who doesn't like confrontation.
Who said it didn't like confrontation?
Well, instead of, walking through the front door at Galaran, you decided to sneak off and go to the wall because I guess you don't like getting watched at the gate.
To be fair, waiting in lines is rather boring.
Yes, but you don't penetrate the city's wall.
How does this have anything to do with you being cagey right now? Are you still not on our side? Legit.
I just looks around.
At this point, Marani is going to mind link with Absinthoss and just say, what did we talk about when we said that we would be a little bit more upfront?
Zidane also crosses his arms and is trying to get your attention with like a...
Evian comes forward and places a hand on Absinthoss' shoulder. She's like,
Get off
you're
of me.
among friends. You're among friends.
Andros just extends his tankard, and you see Barnacle's face in it.
And do an intervention for Absinthoss. All right.
Marani just has this huge grin on her face.
Alton turns around. Even Mort thinks you're shady. Jesus, man. Mort's probably half asleep.
Pele in the corner, just like chilling.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's right. Pele. Is he just back on the ship? Is he with us? Where is
where is Pele?
He's back at the end.
Where's Pele?
He's just sitting sitting at the bar, still drinking his Tales of Mir drink.
Oh no! Oh no!
Pele. Crap, I did forget.
He's like, I think I'm leaving these guys.
You
They're
want a retcon
much.
that I shoved him off the boat with me, and he's been with us ever since?
Sure.
I'm pretty sure that
That
he
wouldn't-
would have.
He wouldn't have gone with you because he's basically he's living by almost an oath that he set for himself.
Zidane's basically his friend. That's about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Shit. Well, you guys didn't even. Yeah. No one really mentioned Pele.
In the tavern drinking.
I mean, realistically, yeah, he would either be drinking or he'd be asleep. He would have gone to one of the rooms.
One of us
no.
would have seen it.
Yeah.
Totally
He's
okay with this.
drinking.
What's that 2.5 Men meme? If you forgot it, it wasn't important. Pele in the rain.
He's just having a revelry with his Tales of Mir drink. The bartender's like trying to clean up the mess. He's just one elf sitting at the bar, slowly sipping
Talking
on
to
a
the
drink.
other elf. Talking to.
Yep.
You know what? I'm gonna say you guys lost sight of him. Like he's not. Or
He is
you'll see.
not with us.
He is not with you guys currently.
That's not good. Oh well.
Listen, Absinthos. Yes, that's right. I used your name for once, and this is a little bit of me showing you respect. And I hope you do the same. There's some shit going down here in the city. There was some shit going down in the last city we were in. I'd like you to be on our team this time. Literally. With us. I'm willing to give you an olive branch. Be part of the crew.
What do you know about demonology?
Literally nothing.
With another question.
That
Jeez.
doesn't answer my question. Are you part of this crew or not?
He said yes.
Right.
Well, that's a relief. So, who was the patron that told you the thing that you just told us?
How do I put it? There's a difference between devils and demons. Lack of a better phrase.
Oh, so you're beholden to someone from the Nine Hells?
Effectively.
This is who you're giving your homage to?
As she pops out the hex-bladed polearm, points towards the symbol of a black angel's wings.
Alton visibly recoils. Wow, that changes things a bit.
Counterpoint. Technically, I'm half infernal or whatever, so...
Are you
as I speak
also...
in infernal to Andros?
Okay.
Yeah, even if you're infernal, it's not. Which, by the way, infernal, if I recall, is a very screechy.
It's not good, nice on the ears.
Infernalness does not indicate.
Fuck, don't speak in the old tongue. Good lord. Just talk normally. That hurts. I haven't talked like that since I was a child.
I'm gonna go help the innkeeper bring in my dog, try and pulling it through the doorway into the safe room.
All I'm saying is...
I mean, yeah.
Devils, demons, we're all... They're shit, but it doesn't mean they can't be used for some purpose.
Well, they're incredibly jealous. So that's why I got a quite cryptic answer from her. Of saying who caused the curse, whether it's the void demon or an infernal one. Infernal devil.
Alton spits on the ground and he's like, the deals that you're making or the manipulations that you think you can pull over on those devils, it's all just temporary. They'll all get you in the end. And maybe us with you.
Much better to deal with gods.
Oh, yes. I'm sure the gods are much better. The gods almost pulled our ship into the ocean.
Right.
By very definition, they are not jealous, and they are not selfish. They are not bent on death and destruction.
No.
Looks at Alton inquisitively. Rolls eyes.
Yeah, no. Some might be not. Some aren't. It's any of these higher powers, they're all a spectrum, yes?
Sure.
They're all out for it for mostly their own good. All that aside,
I don't think so.
I'm glad to hear you're a man of, faith, optimism?
Optimism is a good way of putting it.
Sure. Appreciate that. We need more people like you. Regardless, optimism's not really going to take care of whatever shit we've just got ourselves into.
I beg to differ. I think optimism's gotten me this far in life.
You sound just like my dad.
Ugh.
That cat. Somebody needs to strangle that cat. Oh no, that's not optimistic. Wait a minute.
Anyway, what are the rest of you? We've been the ones talking. Marani, Evian, Thamor. Thamor, I'm sorry, but thank you. That was... You're a good chap for doing that. Anyway, what say the rest of you? We're here.
I think we still need to take that short rest
A
before
rest
tackling
is
things.
definitely needed.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we're taking a long rest here tonight, so rest easy.
Yes, in the morning, sure. We've still got apparently shadow curses turning dwarves into stone. And one piece of a crown that apparently is somehow related to it all.
One that I recall you were quite excited to see.
Me?
No, that's a different crown.
You mean this one?
Oh, okay.
And he pulls out the bag.
Oh god, don't touch it. No.
You actually grab
No,
it?
put it away. Put it
No, it's just a
away.
bag.
Oh,
He
okay.
doesn't reach in and grab the crown, but he just pulls out the bag. You mean this guy?
No, that's different. Nope.
Yeah, it's a different
It's
one.
a different one.
This guy's, I think he's elvish. So I don't know how much he can help us. But I assume that crown is something similar.
I don't know.
Didn't
well,
you say it had some writing on it?
It does. It's something about a queen, and anywho, he does not produce it. Alton does not produce the fragment.
Queen.
Yeah, but be that as it may, I think the idea would be to gather more information at this point. We seem pretty bereft of an actual direction.
What about this queen? If you don't mind.
What's that?
Tell me more about this queen, if you don't mind. I might be able to piece something together.
He's memorized it, and the phrasing goes: Queen Olered, first of her line, to be ... So it's an inscription on the inside of the crown, and assumption is the rest of the inscription is more about this queen. But when the morning comes, I've been sent on a mission by my benefactor, and I get the distinct impression that my benefactor wants the entirety of this crown for purposes other than benevolency. And that's fine. I'm not one to stand in the way of riches, because I think that's what she wants. But I also think that she can wait. If this crown represents the key to helping these dwarves, I think we should try. And I think that starts with more information. So the bartender above, and he kind of points to the ceiling, was also very, very interested in getting this, as I told you. And I kind of hope he has a little bit more to go on as to where the king might keep his fragment that he's holding on to and then giving to the White Order. Or maybe we have a lead on this other piece that seems lost under the city, although that may be dangerous as well. I also made a very strong contact, I think, in this cleric that was cleansing our ship, air quotes. I really kind of want to talk to her as well, and I told her to message me. I think it was tomorrow night. So hopefully we can all go sort of separately and get information about where we should go next.
That's a start.
When you see her, ask her if the curse from the ship is the same curse as the one with the king. Because with that, I can tell whether it's the void or whether it's infernal. Was the pact that was broken?
So ask her what the ship. I mean,
ask her if the curse of the king, because that curse is caused by a broken pact, whether that curse is related to the one that she cleansed from her ship, because that is absolutely void magics, whatever you want to call it. If they are,
I kind of doubt she's gonna have any proximity to the king, but I can ask.
It's worth at least asking. I can't imagine. What would you describe her like?
She's a dwarf cleric.
Cleric. Okay. Well, especially clerics. Clerics work together for a common good.
Right.
So I'm sure she might know more than she lets on.
She seemed rather forthright to me, but I will ask.
So Zidane is gonna. This is the same place that you had the discussion with the contact, right?
Yeah.
Zidane's gonna cast an eye around and then look at the statue of, well, the petrified dwarf. And he's gonna walk up to it and say, "So, turned to stone. I'm guessing that this isn't some sort of ancestor."
Elton nods. Yeah, I think so.
And
this is what happens.
I would like to use Divine Sense.
Nothing. You're just kind of like looking around, or looking at the petrified dwarf specifically.
Let's look at the dwarf itself. Maybe there's something residual, maybe not, but
nothing of that nature. No good, no evil, nothing celestial, fiend, or undead.
Is that recently petrified?
So Zidane bows his head and steps back, shaking his head. Whatever caused this only exerts its influence at the point of contact. I can't determine anything from it right now.
Absthos is thinking.
Evian?
Yes?
You obviously learned some things from your friend.
Mostly how we were guarded, but other
Was this encounter talked about in the lore dump?
Nope.
Nope.
Friend Alton's in-game friend, you say? Friend? What friend?
Alton, she
can speak for herself, applesauce.
I was trying to buy some leniency, but now it kind of defeats the purpose.
Oh.
That's all right, Evian.
Oh. I see.
She kind of rolls her eyes and crosses her arms. It's like, there comes a time when you're in a rock.
You do have a point of contact now, though, so I mean, it's not all for naught.
Yeah.
I mean, all I can say that if we were still back at the Hard as Rock Tavern,
They're just so
we
bad.
could have gotten some time outside of it and explore the town. But since we're not there anymore, I have a bad feeling.
Yeah, that's the other thing. How many of you actually have the ability to disguise yourselves?
as natural as can
Me
be.
too. I can bamf out somewhere. Granted, it may be a smaller distance, but out of eyesight, maybe.
I'm pretty conspicuous now.
Yes, you are.
I can change into animal form.
That's actually really good, because then you could leave the city. I think the rest of us in humanoid form might have trouble doing that.
Zidane looks at Shinari. Shinari looks at Zidane.
The only thing I could do on my behalf is if I were to go back as the Hard as Rock Inn, blend myself back into the people in the bar, and perhaps my new friend would probably keep ties, and I'll ask more questions and find more information within the whole city guard or whatnot. Again, it's just a pain.
Well, totally up to you, but that seems fruitful.
Did Thunderhand say the king was coming to, or we were going to be taken to the king? Was that what I remember? Somebody said that.
Wasn't Thunderhand. Thunderhand was just basically saying that, because everyone was asking about how many guards there were.
Sure.
If she can get leniency to get out of the Hard as Rock Tavern, explore the town a little.
I thought Thunderhand did mention that.
He did?
Yeah, you'd asked about like leaving, like how to leave or how to get like leniency or get around. He said that he couldn't do that. You're gonna have to go see the king, or you'll be brought to see the king. But don't worry, he'll try and pull his weight to like basically take you.
I apologize. I relayed that information to the boy.
All good. I just wanted to clear that up. Yeah, he did mention that you were potentially going to be taken to the king. He just didn't say when.
Okay, so that seems ominous because now there's probably going to be a manhunt.
I mean, I could slip back if we need be.
Alton, I could do you one better. Not only can I look like others as I cast Disguise Self, I can also sound like you too.
That's handy.
Also disturbing.
So the ensuing manhunt here probably going to be a pain in the butt unless we find out some way to either stop it or throw them way off. Do we think that there's a way to get inside the guards organization enough to maybe get your contact, Evian, to say that the people that showed up on the boat escaped into somewhere and got killed, or they escaped outside the city, or some, just so we can have some reasonable chance of reducing the amount of guard like looking inside the city for us.
I mean, it's a bit of a stretch, but since you weren't there officially, Alton, but
yeah,
since I am one of the members that was escorted to the tavern, and I'm the only remaining survivor, it may raise questions, but with that lone new friend, I could persuade him. But with the
What do you mean
others,
you're the only survivor?
I mean, like if you said were to mention if the rest of us were to say missing or to be killed.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, I think that would be a good idea just to make sure that the guard isn't gonna all know what we look like and stop us on sight, like wherever we go.
I will try my best. I mean, I have my ways besides my ways.
Many eyebrows raised.
Right, so Evian, you can more or less blend in. You're half elf. You look like other half elves. That's fine.
Might try to be
Human
less
elf.
attractive.
Wait, she's a half
Try to
elf?
not stick out so much.
Yes, I am a half elf, Zidane. Did you not notice?
Whoa, boy.
Whoa.
Anyway,
You can tell usually by their eyebrows. Anyway, I'm sorry. Anyway, we've got Applesauce who can, do what you just did. Alden, obviously you're very persuasive.
I was going to try to push on this cleric angle to I can't remember who asked me about. I think it might have been Absinthos. To figure out what kind of curse it is and more information there.
Morani, you can turn into animals. That will be useful for infiltration.
Mm-hmm.
Thamor, you may need to lose the armor. That's a little conspicuous.
Oh no!
At least set it down for a bit. Not saying you have to give it away. I'm sure our compatriots here in the seedy bar will hold on to it for you.
Oh my god!
We should at least
Oh,
give him a
please.
separate helmet so he can,
We don't know about that yet, do we?
Don't know anything under his helmet, though.
Nope.
Nope.
Certainly he doesn't want anyone to see under it. Perhaps give him a separate helmet, give him time to change it.
How long does my armor? How long does my armor of shadows last?
You really need to write this.
No, I have it on here. It just doesn't say how long it lasts. It just says on a failed save, the armor dissipates.
That is true. I didn't actually keep the duration, did I?
I thought we were kind of making it so it just stayed on until he either dismissed it or got hit with.
Clapper.
Bright lights.
Yeah, it would be basically as the same as a concentration spell.
Okay.
Yeah, we're casting other spells.
What if we painted your armor, Thamor?
What? Paint in pink. Make it more obvious.
I wasn't thinking pink. No, I was thinking something more like a dull gray. But
well,
Thamor.
I don't think any of you guys have seen him don his shadow armor, have you?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Your your musculature build would fit well as a dark hand if there were more dark hands around and more ships to unload. So,
As they're talking, the Thamor brings out his armor. The first time I'm actually seeing it too.
Okay. As you're all just kind of sitting there chatting, you notice Thamor's if for anyone looking down, you see his shadow start to curl up and form along him, forming this dark, kind of initially almost a dark form blob coalescing out his body before it solidifies and forms a dark set of plate armor that seems to shimmer lightly on him with streaks of silver lining the sides of it.
is it flashy? Is it like more flashy than his regular armor or less flashy?
It's not so much flashy, but it is very impressive. If you were to look closely at it from a distance, it would just look like a dull black armor. But looking at it, you would see.
We still gotta turn that down. We gotta tone that down.
Yeah. And you'll notice he no longer casts any shadow.
Oops. Oh my god. Well, it's better than nothing.
really, the conspicuous one is here is me.
Yeah, you
but you're
definitely need
you'll be
a.
fine.
You need your You need your necklace back. Huh?
Yes. I've worn a dress before. It's. I could do it.
Well,
Well, what I was going to say is I've got a bit of an affinity with water. I could explore tunnels, or perhaps find a way into the city through the harbor.
DM, I have a question. I have a necklace of transmogrification taken from a sea hag in a magic book story.
What?
Is that still valid?
Oh, that was from.
That was from
Like
session
way back in session one.
It was
Yes, sir.
yeah, Morden, the Mordon Grimlock. It was the guy who was transmogrified into the wolf.
Yep.
Yep.
Was the same.
It was the same. Let me double check. Because if I remember, you were trying to get it fixed because you broke the chain on it. I don't know if we actually ever tried to activate its magic.
I have not. Alton slowly pulls it out of his pocket in a lapel in his armor. Says, now, Andros, just hold still.
Oh
for a
no.
He goes.
That's ominous.
goes to-
Starts packing up.
He goes to put it on. just try to relax.
He throws the tankard, and Barnacle just appears and splashes into you.
No, that's not relaxed. Come on, we can do this.
Come on, Andros, you'll be fine.
It's gonna turn you into that big fucking thing we had to fight. Oh man. So I'm just joking. Is it like, do we need to repair it? Because I definitely didn't write down that it was broken. So if you say we need to repair it, I need to repair it.
The amulet itself isn't broken. It just had broken chain because
Okay.
someone had cut it, or if I remember correctly, it's been forever. Someone had broken it off his neck to free him of that enchantment.
We did that.
No one's tried wearing it or repairing, like putting the chain on it, basically, and trying to reactivate its magic. From what I remember and written down, it had turned him into a wolf in the story. As to what it will do outside the book, no one's tried, if it even has magic outside.
Well, Andros, sorry about that. I got carried away. It needs a little repair anyway. What say you? I could probably try to fix this chain here, and then do you remember when we got this from the giant wolf?
And you hear Barnacle's voice behind you. That's where the weed splashed to.
Yes, I think I remember that from the book.
Well, thought, maybe it'll work something like your old necklace.
Possible. I don't.
And if not, it'll turn you into a giant wolf monster, and then we'll take it right back off. Right back off.
I'm worried about.
But we've totally prepared for this. We'll just take it right back off. No problem. Elton starts trying to fix the chain.
Oh, nothing can possibly go wrong.
Would you like help with that?
I'll stick to the harbor for now, okay?
Could I cast Mending to fix the chain?
Yes.
I would like to cast Mending to fix the chain.
Okay. It's not a terrible break, but as you kind of incant the magic and wave your hand over the chain links, they form and reform to, I use the word too much, to form and reform, to reform the chain necklace. And the amulet, as you hold it, seems to have, you feel a bit of magic within it. Holding it, it doesn't feel inert.
Okay. Well, thank you, Absinthoss. Would you like to try it on?
Kind of looks at it. I was starting this dwarf, but is sure. Is Thamor over here in case we need to take it off?
Yeah. So I'll have one half of it in my hand, and Thamor, can you hang on to the other half of the chain, and then if it gets out of hand, we can just rip it off?
Yeah, Thamor grab on the other half.
I
Right,
get
let-
within 10 feet of what all this is occurring.
All right, everybody, push the chips back. Push the bed out of the way.
I don't think you'll need a smite to knock me out.
Oh, no, I was talking about the saving throw, but okay, that's a valid secondary.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, it's time to see. Was it put the boat in the water? Is the word?
Put the ship to harbor? Sure.
All right.
This is a
Press-
terrible, wonderfully terrible idea.
Are you putting it on?
Yes.
Oh no.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
One of these days we'll have a
+4.
charisma.
+4.
I mean, you can choose to, let it win if you want to see the effect, but it does seem to have a hold to it initially, especially since it's being kind of restrained by two people.
Ooh.
So 7. Was it +4? You said.
Yes.
So 17.
17.
Okay. As you put it on and you kind of resist its pull, the chain unlatches. And the amulet just kind of is now being held by the other two people.
I think you need to let it do what it's gonna do.
Well, it's good to know that resisting it is feasible.
It is. It is. Yes.
All right.
Resistance is not futile.
Just don't make me roll deception. Yes, that's great. Yes.
All right. Let's try it again.
Okay. Let it happen.
Let
Just
it happen.
try to
Okay,
relax.
So you
It's
put the
human
chain
guinea pig.
back on, and you put the amulet back on, and as you kind of let it succumb to its magic, you feel the chain tighten around your neck, almost to the point of a choker. It's actually kind of difficult to hold on to for the other two.
Mhm.
And as it secures itself in place, you feel yourself change very rapidly to the form of a dog.
It's like a
Always
lycanthropic
scarier in the
dog
story.
or a literal dog.
A literal dog.
What kind of dog? What kind of dog?
Kind of dog.
A German Shepherd-esque dog, like a pure black.
Yay!
Nice. I wonder if it's a random. I wonder if he'd turn into something different if we put it on him again.
Can I use telepathic speech in this?
Nope.
Okay, so dang,
You have lost access to your speech is now that of a dog. You have limited. You have no access really to your magical abilities, as you have lost your ability to do any somatic or vocal.
Beautiful.
I like him much better this way.
And your choker is now basically a
Ouch.
collar with this amulet.
Beautiful. Well, that was just. This is a complete success.
I consider this a win.
Bark.
Absinthoss.
We got him.
I'm gonna try and paw at the collar, like take it off.
No.
No.
You'll just.
You will have to make that saving throw again later.
Are you able to understand us?
Bark.
Bark once for yes, twice for no.
Shinari looks over and kind of looks at you and just mentally translates you. He seems frustrated.
Well, of course he's frustrated. Someone get him some kibble.
Anyone have some cheese?
Ari is actually she can understand, but only is only able to telepathically talk with me. So, well, my Shinari.
You hear the cat screeching outside.
Oh no! Is the door open?
I'm gonna grumble towards Alton.
Hey, down boy, down boy.
So
Morani just pats him on the head.
Anyone else have any reaction to the fact that Rose just Alton I have so many A's. You get all that for having a bunch of M names. You guys have all A names in your group. Come on. Absinthoss having Absinthoss turn into a literal dog.
Will speak with animals work on him?
He is, yes, he is an animal now. So yes.
Would my mind link work on him?
Yes, you can mind link to him and he can respond to your mind link, but he himself cannot cast spells.
But telepathic speech is not a spell per se.
Now.
Oh, that's right, because it's your.
It's a sorcerer class ability.
Okay, you would be able to do that. You just cannot cast anything that would require vocal or somatic.
Perfectly makes sense.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about like the mind link spell thing, like the.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Varys telepathic bond or whatever.
Yeah.
I know this is meta, but did he retain his
Intelligence?
int and whiz?
Yes.
Okay.
He is a dog in form and like physiology in terms of like being able to speak, but he retains he's retaining his stats, his armor, his weapons and stuff is under the effect of like a disguise or alter self. It's melded into himself.
Shape, yeah.
That's perfect.
Or wild shape.
That's actually really. I mean, we're kind of joking and it's funny, but
Yeah.
that's really good. That's really
kind of
good.
figured you guys were going to try that a lot earlier because the whole shtick of that amulet is things are scarier in a story, right?
I kept thinking about it, but I was like, Salty forgot about this item. There's no way he's gonna let me use that.
Oh no, I still remember like a bunch of stuff you guys have, and I'm just kind of waiting to see when you guys look back in your sheets because I remember Thamor remembers every now and then to pull out his homunculus and kill it.
It's like, oh, look, it's a magic thing. Go touch it.
Go touch it. Okay.
I would like to use telepathic. I like to use telepathic speech with Alton and say, like, could you at least get the collar off?
Yeah. So, all right.
I still retain my intelligence. I just can't speak.
He goes down to one knee and unbuttons the clasp, I suppose.
It does not budge.
Ooh.
You broke it last time, remember?
Oh, we didn't remend it? I would have remended it.
No. As in, to get it off the original inhabitant, it had to be broken.
It's cursed.
So it is currently locked onto you for now until, well.
So
meta question, it will imbue or enforce another saving throw later.
Yeah. So the mental link you just forged with Alton, you hear. Mm-hmm. So I got good news. I got bad news.
It's stuck on it, isn't it?
The good news is you look like a really convincing dog.
It's stuck on it.
Bad news is I can't get it off.
You can't saw it off with Thamor's axe.
I mean, we could hack it off, but it's not like easy. You know what I mean? It's not super easy.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere.
Well, but maybe you see, if we can craft
his halberd.
Whoa!
Oh no!
Wait, you didn't hear any of this Thamor though.
If we can craft some sort of
it's like right now they're
release.
just kind of staring intently at each other.
If we could craft some sort of release for you, then you could use it like a disguise, a really, really good disguise. But then again, you had disguise. Okay, no, let's cut it off. Because he had disguise self anyway. We just tried him as a guinea pig, and he played along very nicely.
Play?
All right, everybody, we got to cut it off him.
Thamor, now raise the halberd.
Something a little smaller. Thamor, please.
Thamor raise the second halberd.
No, Thamor.
So, question: would my pack still have its items? I still have some daggers on me.
It is.
You are currently a dog.
You are currently a dog. It is like wild shape or alter self.
Okay,
The pack basically
onto,
blends into you. Yeah.
Alton has a dagger, so he'll jam the point of the dagger into one of the links and start twisting.
Roll a say roll a strength check or a athletics. Athletics, or actually give me sleight of hand. Sleight of hand or athletics, whatever's better.
Sleight of hand.
To see if you can just kind of not necessarily brute strength force it off, but kind of like wedge it and angle it so you're kind of forcing the blade to.
So you said sleight of hand, athletics, or
which of the two is better for you?
Okay. That's better. Okay.
All right. It's kind of right on the DC there. So I'll say you managed to kind of snap it off and forcefully break the enchantment. Andros, you return back, or not Andros, Absinthe, you return back to your human self, and you take 4 points of psychic damage.
Ooh. Oof. Ooh.
A little bit of a
You're still in bad shape, aren't you?
I'm at 14 to 43. It's fine.
Yeah.
We really need that long rest. Yeah. How do you feel?
Well, taking that thing off, that stung a little.
Yeah, it certainly seems like this is it's a good
First,
disguise, but kind of rough on the back end.
So, what I can tell, they basically turn into a dog. They retain their intelligence. If you can speak in it, if you could like do a mental non-spell thing, it's fine. But I don't think I was able to try and cast anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's
I wonder if it's always a dog. I wonder if it's because we took the thing we took it off in the storybook was a giant wolf.
That is a good question, but I wonder if other people want to be the guinea pig for it.
No, Elton's like, no.
The guinea dog.
I mean, it might work pretty well for if we need to bring someone back who doesn't want to.
Ooh,
well, I was thinking more like it'd be a really good way to smuggle somebody into a place that we don't have a good disguise for, and he starts kind of eyeing Thamor.
My question is, does shadow armor form itself around the dog?
Shadow
What?
dog?
I'm also wondering if we were going to give that to Andros, would you end up
No,
becoming a dog
fucking
with
thank
horns?
you.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Thamor would be the better option since Thamor is better able to shrug off the relatively minor damage that it does to you when being released.
You know, as Absalom pulls out his little ziggurat for that he uses as a focus for tongues. Well, in case we can't form a psychic link or something, I could find an alternative way to make the dogs speak.
Yeah, the other consideration is it takes a special saving throw to get rid of the effect, and Thamor might not be the best candidate for that. But if somebody's with them, then you can kind of pop it off. And I was wondering if we could kind of craft something, GM, that like a quick release or something that break or make a really weak link on it, like a master link that's especially weak or some shit.
If it obeyed physical laws, perhaps. But, I mean, as far as you're aware, it is a fairly potentially cursed magic item.
That's an answer to the question. So, all right, well, maybe it's not such a good item. Well, at least we know what it does.
Never throw away the
wolf. As well as something, a slight meta, but just to kind of help make sense of the ruling on it a little bit more from what you've seen, it didn't do damage when you succeeded the saving throw. It only did damage when you forced it off.
Oh. Well, good to know. Good to know. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this has all been a fun experiment.
As long as they are wise, they should be able to resist it. But if they're not able to discern truth from fiction.
Anyway, in the larger context of the things that we're going to try tomorrow, I think I've only got two sort of, quote, assignments where Evian and, whoever else she thinks she needs was going to go try to clear our names with the guards or make the guards think that we're dead or gone or something like that. And then I was going to try and make contact with this cleric again. Andros, I think you had some interest in trying to see if the port had any underwater.
I'm sure me and Marani could do some, underwater scouting. You do like swimming, don't you, Marani?
Can't say that I've had much experience with it, although now's as good a time as any to learn. Oh, well, I'll take your word for it.
Great. So
I think that
birds are going back to find out what they're knowing. You're going to go find your girlfriend, and we're going to go swimming. Yeah.
I think Zidane and Thamor are the last ones here. You guys have any ideas of how we could help these petrified dwarves?
Would you mind if I tried something on this dwarf first?
Less cryptic. What are you going to do to the dwarf?
Yeah, I think that is an important question.
I am going to try and utilize the void in a lesser sense to unpetrify the dwarf.
Maybe we do that.
Can we not?
Yeah, maybe we do that like when we're leaving.
My only constructive feedback on that course of action is perhaps making sure it's someone that we know is important, not to be impolite towards whoever this is, but if this
Pragmatic.
is just
He might be important. I have no idea who he is actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. He might be a criminal. I have no idea.
Given the connections this person has with your benefactor, or it could it's the difference between perhaps an administrator and just the town drunkard. So maybe that's something we also need to collect some information on, is if we can actually have discernible markings of people. I imagine we're actually going to have to investigate the statues firsthand.
True, perhaps it targets or certain people are more likely to get petrified than others, whether brought to it or they're less likely to resist the effects.
Petrify that damn cat. Screaming in the alleyway all night.
The cat's the source of the evil, obviously.
I'm missing something with the cat.
There's a on the audio track.
Ambient track, yeah.
Oh, okay. I have that muted. Sorry.
No worries.
No, we just agreed in DMs to make you sound crazy. But like, you don't hear the cat?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at this point.
Oh, dear.
But okay.
Zidane, as long as you leave your leafy friend, I'm sure you could blend in. Thamor, I think the armor's still got to go, man.
Well, I'm wearing armor similar to him.
So we're having a stripping party?
What?
Come on. If you're wearing just about as heavy as him, you've got to be ripped under there.
That's not the...
Come on, give us a treat.
It's not the point. Dan is blushing fiercely.
I know the stories of people on boats. I can only assume you also like men.
Elton slowly pulls out the loot. Slowly pulls out the loot, starts strumming a little body tune.
Stop that.
Look.
I will make a performance check if you want me to.
A man can appreciate another man's physique. So.
It's true. I just hear stories about men of the boat. I even heard of a song, I think they called "In the Navy."
Oh my god!
Wow, seriously?
Mort right now.
God, I think I just lost experience points on that.
Mort is loading a crossbow and pointing at his temple. He's out. He's giving up.
Very good. I'm gonna grab Mort and head up to the bar, assuming it's still business hours. You know, we can get a drink or something.
It's beyond business hours at this point. It is late into the night.
Oof. Okay, so
talk to your friend, then perhaps a list of people that we might come across.
Yep. Gives a curt salute to Zidane. Sounds good. You and Thamor are the wild cards here in the plan. So whatever you think might be helpful. I just want to help these poor dwarves, you know. I gotta go talk to this guy for a second, and he kind of shuffles Mort out, and he's like, "We're not sleeping yet. Just a couple more minutes here, Mort. Come with me."
He just grumbles and
he's used to it now.
Yeah. I oughta just leave.
Well, you might get the chance. Come on, let's talk about it. So Alton leaves the room with him, and I'll leave it up to you.
Out of armor. Thamor and I could just hang back somewhere. Maybe those tunnels. Oh wait. Are we going to actually try and talk with the court and the king legitimately, or just go straight to investigating whatever this darkness is?
I think we need. Are you saying that in or out of character?
In character. I might have glossed over a few things when all the talking was happening.
All I know is mutual distraction said to find the king. I don't know if that means the current king or the previous one.
And
I could find information on that if I went back now. Hopefully, I can save myself and reroute the direction of the rest of you.
Darling, I think you need a night's rest without him.
Honey, I'm not going back to sleep with this fucking dwarf. I'm trying to save my ass.
She called you honey. Nice. I'm not here.
Okay. I think that might be where we call it for now, as we kind of plan to split party again. It sounds like
again.
I can make it real quick with more if you want me to.
Sure, if you want to try and end it, I guess we can quickly end it there.
I wrote a bunch of stuff down, so it should go quick.
Okay, because I kind of figured we'd end with where everything kind of panned out, ending with you guys taking that long rest and then, acting out your plans, whatever it may be the next morning.
I was hoping to slip back into the Hard as Rock Tavern to pretend I was actually a patron in the actual bar and fall asleep in a corner or something, pass out from a drink.
Yeah, it's only midnight, Salty. Come on.
That was her main goal, was trying to slip back in after all the chaos, and then eventually Thunderhand, let's say the other word. Thunderhand actually finds her and then be passed out drinking or something.
Okay. Yeah, you can give me. We'll do Alton. You can give me a stealth to get in and a performance to play the part, I guess. Because for the most part, given an hour or so of kind of waiting around, the commotion's pretty much cleared up. They've dealt with the main perpetrator, and he's sawed it off. So there's not a whole lot left there except for the standard guards on post, and they don't really stop people from getting in. They're more to stop people from getting out.
Right.
So.
Ooh, that's the bad part.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me a stealth check and performance, and we will do that. And then Alton will do your conversation with Mort.
Copy.
Alright, stealth check, normal. Oh shit. Well, that's a stealth, and then I guess for performance. Okay, that's a 17 for performance.
Okay, so as you're kind of heading back, you get stopped outside the bar by the guards, who initially kind of are still a bit wary, and they don't necessarily recognize you. They're not. I mean, they're just kind of guards sitting outside the tavern, but playing into the part of the drunk, they more or less just roll their eyes and let you in.
Okay.
You're just kind of bar hopping, or you're coming back for another drink, basically.
Right.
Listen, there are a lot of non-dwarves, or not a lot, but there's several non-dwarves in the port. And you were brought in there initially to be questioned, but they're not necessarily and they're just kind of your common guards. They're not really paying a lot of attention. Like I said, their goal is to keep people out, not necessarily to not let people. So yeah, you're able to kind of make your way back in, not draw a whole lot of attention to yourself, but play the part of kind of being, drunk.
Okay. And she'll just find a spot because I figured Thunderhand went upstairs to go find her, finding the empty room. She'll be basically on the bottom floor, kind of like in the farthest corner, kind of like, I would say probably slumped against a wall or beside a table in case where the what's the word? Brawl ensued. So she's like kind of like drunkenly hiding herself and then just end up passing out. Air quotes, passing out.
Okay. All right. And then Alton, you are just dragging March upstairs, or where are you going with him?
Yep, just to booth or something like that where we can sit across from each other.
It's pretty much empty. Even the bartenders, you don't see him very often. He seems to be more kind of keeping the back room, popping out every now and then to kind of see if you guys have just gone to bed. You do notice, however, the front door is barred, like closed shut, basically, and kept locked.
Sounds good. Okay. Mort, I'm sorry to keep you up so late, but I think we need to have a little conversation here, and I want to see if I can change your perspective.
Bully me into coming here. I just wanted my fair passage to Dunmore, and look where you got us. You pushed me off of a boat.
Well, those things are in the past. Do you know what's in the future?
It look like some kind of oracle to you?
No, you don't. But you look like a smart man. Do you know, I think I know the future. You know what I see in the future?
What do you see in the future?
I'm going to be a full-fledged faceless one. Do you know what that gives me?
His face immediately just pales over a bit. What did you say?
I think you heard me.
You working with them? You're with them?
He winks.
He just lets out the most agonizing groan he can.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether to be happy or sad or just... All right. He just throws his hands up. What do you want from me? My mission was to come here, be the point of contact, do a little this, do a little that, and be on my way. I couldn't give a rat's ass about what happens.
Splendid. That's exactly what I want from you. The only thing additionally would be to tell me what a little of this and a little of that actually are, and that's it.
He rubs his temples, kind of trying to stave off a bit of the weariness bit. And all right, I was running low on funds after my deliveries, so I took a contract when I got back and didn't really check the person offering it, and found out I was dealing with a little bit more of a higher up than I wanted to, and they told me I had to go to Dunmore. Could you believe that? Okay, you could probably believe the nerve of them. You're one of them, and you never mind. But you see, they told me that I needed to be the point man with the info to get you into the past the city to deal with the trade-off. You know what I'm talking about, right? The trade-off. You see, the king has something that, well, your group wants. This crown thing, I guess, from what I've been listening on, and they want it. It seems like the dwarves want it. Look, my mission, or as it was was to meet, I guess, you and set up a meeting with, well, the guy you just met. Set that meeting up, get you out of the city afterward, and get you waiting to, ambush, barter, acquire, I don't know. Do whatever you were supposed to do to get the peace. But that's kind of all gone to moot since we magically fell through whatever the fuck that was. And now I'm just as stuck here as can't even come up with a good analogy at this point.
I think it's as bad as you think it is.
I think it's pretty bad, so, yeah.
I think, number one, none of the guard or people that would obstruct you from doing your job of getting us an exit actually know what you look like.
I didn't think about that.
Number two, between the rest of us, he motions to the stairs, and you, and the contacts that we're making, we all stand to gain quite a bit from this little adventure. You like gold, don't you?
I could be convinced.
You like jazz?
So, again, all I'm asking for is same thing you were going to do anyway. But the important part is, if you ever get any messages, you tell me. That's it. Does that sound fair?
He kind of mulls it over. He goes, well, I guess I'm not really breaking any contracts because my contract's with your organization. And if you're part of the organization, whether it's true or not, I'm in the clear because technically he told me all right.
Yeah, and he starts
right.
playing with the ring on his finger.
And he starts like rubbing his palms. What are we talking? 50-50, 75-30?
Sure.
Sure.
It's totally an inclusive or sure. Sure.
Okay. All right. I'll take the 70. You take the 30. And he kind of just sticks out his hand, going for the handshake.
Elton does not shake his hand. He says, I thank you. You look very tired. Maybe you should get some sleep.
Alton Moore just kind of looks down at his hand a little bit and kind of gives a shrug. All right, whatever floats your boat, pal. Now, if you need me, I'm gonna fall asleep in the most comfortable part find probably right now. And he just gets up and starts heading back down to the cellar.
Mm-hmm. Without taking his hand from the ring, he casts message to Whisper.
Oh, okay.
Says, Whisper, hope it's not too late for a message. I am in Dunmorrock and have made contact with our contact, I suppose. Have there been any further developments on this particular effort?
Can she respond to a message? Or is message one way? Is it two-way?
You had told me prior that she would respond. And
I'm double checking if yes.
A couple of times.
Message the cantrip or sending the 3rd level spell?
This is probably closer to sending.
I think it's closer to sending because of the way the ring operated. That's why I was a little bit confused if I added something that I blanked out on.
Whether or not it's one or the other, we have worked it in the past such that she was able to reply. So
yes, no, I know. I was trying to figure out sorry. My take on it was I thought you were trying to use a message to send a one-way thing to her and not get a response. Like, I thought you were intending to try not get a response from her. But if you were trying to get a response from her, yes, she will communicate through the ring.
Number 2.
Okay. You hear a very tired voice of sorts respond in your head.
Uh-oh.
That's great, darling. Whilst I know we operate under the cover of night frequently, it is still rather late. As far as operations on our end, I am excited to hear that you are indeed in Dunmork, though you seem to be there a lot earlier than I calculated, so bravo. The operation has not gone off yet, and to my knowledge, the piece still resides within the city walls.
With that, he gets up and tries to find a place to sleep.
Okay, you just cut it off there.
I thought it was only one back and forth.
Oh, I did. Well, okay, I didn't know if you're continuing to use it.
Can I do more than one? Maybe I can.
Is it like a telephone call, or is it just one message back?
Could be like a
to and
sending
from?
stone.
The intent was it is kind of like a...
It's like because they're sending stones. Sending stones come in pairs with each smooth stone card. Blah 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 blah. Well, you cast a sending spell. One sending. It can't be used until the next dawn. But
I need to kind of update the description on it. My intent was, yes, it was designed to do a like once per day. You can kind of communicate with the other person, enacted from your end. So it's not necessarily a one sentence each kind of deal. I didn't really give it a duration. I really need to flesh that out a little bit more. I apologize. I didn't really think about the implications of that would be in terms of conversations. But enacted from your end.
I want to talk to the sultry woman that's contracting me to do nefarious things.
You can contact her to have like Whisper specifically is who you're linked with for that ring.
Yeah.
You got contacted by another member of the organization, but you cannot reach to them, if that makes sense.
It does. Yeah.
So the ring,
it's single user for me, but for them, they can probably use.
Yeah,
they can probably contact anyone with a ring.
Yeah. So it's kind of a you got the employee cell phone. They have the boss cell phone.
Got it.
So but yeah, you can talk to Whisper. You can have a conversation. For now, I guess we'll just set it to make it easier. You can have an hour-long conversation per day, up to, with Whisper.
Okay. Response to that would be good. I am establishing a network of contacts that should help me to retrieve the asset. But I could certainly use an excuse to get close to the king, because I think the king has it, or definitely could use an excuse to get into his court.
That's why I gave you the location of the transaction, darling. I don't have... The king in Dunmork has been the most stubborn contact. We don't even have a direct line with him. We operate through subordinates, through others. Getting you into his court is no easy feat. That's why we laid out the plans to intercept it after it left the court. If you were planning to get in there, then... Our best bet is to try and rub elbows, as it were, with either any of his nobility, if he's got any, or any other members who might be able to get you to the king, or, I don't know, try talking to him yourself. I'm sorry, darling, that's why we gave you this mission. If we could have just talked to him and infiltrated his court ourselves, we'd have done that years ago. They've enacted one of the strictest policies we've seen, trying to keep everyone out.
Okay. Trust in me, I will accomplish this task.
That's why we gave it to you, and that's why the rewards are so great.
Okay. We'll go to bed.
Okay. Fortunately, yeah, they don't have an easy answer for that one, just because that's kind of the whole...
That's the challenge.
Well, that's the reason she gave you the quest, as it were, of intercepting it after, like, in that meeting or beforehand, if you could catch it.
Yeah. She didn't have too much faith that anybody could get in that close.
Yeah, because she would have done so already, because this is something she's been wanting. But the king, like, Dunmore has been on a very tight lockdown. Even her contact is essentially Mort. Had to be sent there, and potentially...
Basically no information at all.
Yeah. Will also... slight, out of meta-ish thing, he wasn't really going to get out.
Yeah, he was sacrificed to the task.
He was sacrificed to the task. He didn't really realize it. He just assumed that they were going to get him out.
Yeah.
But it was full knowledge that whoever they sent to Dunmoric wasn't likely going to get out.
Well, we'll see how resourceful Mort could be, because he's going to be on our exit ticket for the time being. Let's see if he can find a way out.
But yeah.
Or we just all polymorph into dogs and run away.
Who let the
origins
dogs
of
out?
Eric? Eric origin stories, indeed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wait, what?
In Floof RPG, there's
crossover.
Oh, okay. I was that Eric. I was gonna say, wait, my Eric?
No.
Isn't it a rock?
It's a rock, but you know,
a rock,
enough.
and we're
A
in
rock.
this Dwarven city.
Or at this point, I most would call it Iraq.
Oh no.
But okay.
So how are the sleeping accommodations? Is it just the one room?
Yeah, it's just the one room. You guys are pretty much taking. You're hiding out in the cellar for the most part.
Seymour better not snore.
Isn't he silence?
I don't know. I feel like Morani would snore more than Thamor at this point.
Yeah, Thamor's silent.
And Thamor's silent, so he could be snoring very loudly. You just wouldn't hear it.
Oh shit.
Andros will prop himself up in the corner, let Barnacle go back into the flask, and call it a night.
Yeah, Thamor probably taking the most comfortable looking spot.
He pushes Mort out first.
Mort
finds a nice comfortable like bench or whatever, and Thamor just takes him and throws him off into the corner.
Yeah, basically, if someone tries, moves them.
Yeah. Mort would try to respond, looks up the like glowing black armor of Thamor, and just thinks better of it. Because you've chucked him out before too. It's not the first time I think you've thrown Mort.
No, not the first time at all.
So, but yeah.
Does Thunderhand find Evian?
I was gonna start with that next time around.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he will find you. Because he would be leaving the bar in the morning, ending of his shift, and would find you. And that would spark a whole another scenario. Because I figure, again, my thought being we would start fresh with everyone's plan to gather information, find their way forward, however you guys wanted to proceed with that, with Evian going with Thunderhand. And then the rest of you guys taking whatever plan of action you got, because it sounds like everyone's kind of wanting to split off again. Which will be interesting. You guys love to split the party more than I've ever seen. I mean, it makes sense. It's a large party, so it kind of behooves splitting to not have crazy things happen, but...
I'm just trying to save butt here. So.
Save,
No, okay.
But no, you guys kind of impressed. Yeah, you guys all kind of found information your own way, and curious to see what you do with having a few contacts within the dwarves, and you are slowly learning of the plight of what's happening in Dunmoric.
Good plot. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I've got more. I mean, not necessarily fully fleshed out. I have the entirety of what's going on in Dunmoric fleshed out. As far as what you guys do is, I do not know.
I can give you a full list of the places that I might like to see if you want to see it.
I mean, it can if it's in the relative area. If you're going to explore into the tunnels, that's where we'd have to kind of.
Yeah, it'd be tunnels, docks, brothel, guard place.
Yeah. Logically,
Sanctuary. Whatever cleric, church or whatever.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Trig.
But yeah, what I can do, or what I was kind of planning as well, and I guess I will draw it out for you. You guys are going to wake up, or at least I guess everyone, but I guess anyone can learn from Thunderfist. The rest of you are going to wake up to a map drawn by the bartender, given to you in your preparation for going forward. So you'll have a rudimentary map-ish of the city. But it won't show you the tunnel systems. He doesn't have that mapped out. But Alton does have something he got from the Cleric. So...
I so
I
badly
can
want to
breathe
cast.
underwater.
I so
And
badly
we have
want
a
to cast
necklace,
spell.
a cursed necklace of make you into dog. I
Yeah,
love it.
Chris.
Find
Now
the
a
king,
question, is
snap
that
it on his neck,
necklace?
and walk out.
If Thamor were to wear the necklace, is his shadow armor form around the dog form?
If
You
Andrew
have to try it and
wears
see
a
what happens.
necklace, does he turn into a blue furred horned dog?
You just have to try it. But yeah, I didn't realize you guys were ever going to use the amulet. Yes, it is. That's the city proper. It's given to you. What you guys will find in the morning left by the bartender.
Okay. Where's the ocean?
So the ocean, Dun Morok is not actually on the ocean itself. Dun Morok is connected via a long, like I said, it's connected by a long tunnel to this port piece to the ocean. That river that the map basically indicates is the tunnel system leading to Dun Morok, is how I kind of had it set up.
Okay. So we'll be coming in down here.
You'll be coming in down there. However, you have to get through the tunnels first. Like I said, it's rumored, and you guys haven't seen it yet, but there's rumors that the tunnels have been altered or changed to obfuscate, pathway through it. There may be more to that, as far as getting through it correctly and what the dwarves have done to the tunnels. But he does leave you a map of the city proper. Just again, an idea of what you guys will run into, because otherwise, I can't see. I know it's a little bit of a Deus Ex, here's the map, but at the same time, I can't foresee this going any way well trying to describe this without one. So. But yeah, there are some fun things I have planned for Dun Morok.
Yay.
I've been sitting on the city for a while, and it's been kind of a fun little idea in my head, as well as some other fun stuff with it. And like I said, it's kind of amusing. You finally use the amulet. It would have been much more interesting early on when you didn't have the ability to disguise self and a lot more of the magical abilities to have a character be able to be a cursed dog. But yeah.
So, somewhat meta question.
Mm-hmm.
If everyone's asleep, could I wake up, try to pull a void, say a 3-letter word, cast a spell, take the d6 of necrotic damage, go back to rest, and then recover all the hit points? Or is that too much and too little time?
I would say the only issue I'd find, not so much the too little time deal, is that you would likely wake people around you with that spell. Because it does have that somatic. He's calling upon his void, like the kind of randomized spell effect.
Yeah.
It does have a somatic bit to it where you're calling out that void speech, as it were. So my thought would be, we risk waking people, so we can try and repeat if you want to see what happens. But it seems like since the party was kind of unanimous against it, you might get stopped anyway.
So are you gonna try and summon Gozar in the middle of the fucking bedroom?
No, my goal
right
was to basically find some kind of divination. Find the phrase I was going to use was find the truth, and trying to figure out what's actually going on in the city.
Do it tomorrow.
This just came to my mind. I have a question for you, Salty.
Sure.
The amulet of the because I just dawned on me, I still have the amulet of the Fae. I'm guessing I have to say it if I were to use it before I ask someone's name.
The Amulet of the Fae no longer has any power.
Okay.
It's like I said, that it basically became.
It's just a necklace per se.
It's just a necklace, a very pretty, adorned necklace, but the power that you basically inherited now is transferred to your bow and gave you all the other.
So I'll just take that as an amulet necklace instead of amulet fae, so that way I don't have that in my thingy anymore.
Yeah, like I said, I kind of converted your power based on that whole session where we talked about what you guys wanted with your kind of ascension things, and I gave you the bow.
Right.
With all the other the new abilities it got.
And it's still tree shaped though.
The bow?
No, the necklace.
It's shaped like a flower, is what I remember saying.
Flower. Oh.
Yeah, with the petals like being like they were glowing at one point. They kind of faded out until you like lit them. But now that the power, like it's now just kind of a normal amulet, they just look like kind of faded, like what's this, like a rose quartz kind of color, like stones, semi-precious gems.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I thought I